Well, hello there, everybody. I didn't fuck up the intro this time.
Yet.
Welcome to this week's episode of Crit Seekers. For those of you joining us from last week and who have been watching, welcome back. We're excited to play another game for you. And for those of you who are new to the stream, hello there. I am...
General Kenobi.
I should have expected that. I am Mason, your
so
world
perfect.
weaver for the story. And
Did you guys practice that?
these are my
Yeah,
friends
it's calculated.
that yelled Star Wars quotes at me while I'm trying to do an intro. Anyway, so welcome to this week's episode of Crit Seekers. Anyways, I don't think we have any big pressing announcement things to speak of today. So, anybody got any good jokes? Tell some jokes, waste some time? No? Do we want to just jump into the
Oh, I got great jokes, but nobody else likes my jokes.
Yeah, we already know.
Well, you got your time wasted right here.
Yeah,
So-
perfect.
Right here,
All
baby.
right.
We can just
Got
sit
it.
here and just talk about wasting time.
I
instead
love
of playing
wasting
the game.
time.
We shouldn't even play D&D. We should just talk about wasting time.
Dude, I could go on forever about how to waste time.
All right, let's play the fucking game, guys.
So, last week on Crit Seekers, our party ventured through a dangerous wasteland of lava flows just outside the coastal city of Pharsalus. After making their way across this treacherous path, they ended up on the outskirts of the city. During their travels there, Nimue kept having this strange pull, almost like guiding her towards Lake Conra that rests on the outside of Pharsalus. This lake being the very lake that Nimue had been buried in once before when she had lost her life, before being resurrected by Varuna, the maiden. Reaching the edge of this lake, Nimue dove in pretty much, went for it, and ended up having some odd sort of guidance and words into her mind from some ancient presence that she felt. And this guided her to her stone glass casket that lay down below. Inside, she found what appeared to be some weird, strange orb that pulsed and glowed with some arcane light. Emerging from that lake, the party rested, found out that this orb belonged inside of Nimue's shield that she had been carrying, actually been brought to the doorstep of her parents at birth in, and made their way into the Merc, a sort of lower class, quote unquote, area outside of Pharsalus, where they ventured into the Blushing Fox Tavern. Did I get that right? I did that without looking at my notes.
Yeah. You got
the
it.
Blushing Fox Tavern, after contacting Aether, one of Nimue's old acquaintances? Yeah. On their way there, they had ran into an old friend who rescued them from a couple of guards who sought to bring them back to the Verdant Keep, and saw the face of Lorenzo Renaud, an old friend and possible fling of Nimue's.
I don't know if I'd call it a fling.
Possible something of Nimue's from Whitehorn when the party had visited there. They were brought into a secret location inside of this tavern where they ran into a couple of other old friends from this city that Nimue knew. Edryd Silverbloom, the head of the Glass Guard, the sort of policing force of the city, and her little sister Tessa, who seems to be studying under Edryd. And we close the episode with Edryd and Lorenzo essentially saying, we have some things to talk about. So, Taelented Seven, that is where we pick up the session today. You all stand in this kind of underground, weird, open chamber. There's only a singular table in this room, and there is a group of very rugged and dangerous-looking individuals who seem to be probably part of the underground, surrounding this table, as well as Edryd, Tessa, and Lorenzo, who stand next to you all. What would you like to do at this point?
Oh, I'm so nervous. I'll go up to Tessa and Edryd, and I'll say, so what news of there is from the keep? Where are our other siblings? What's happened with father?
Who do you ask this to?
Tessa.
She shuffles a bit awkwardly and very consciously straightens her posture and still not fully making eye contact with you, but just quickly she'll glance up as she's speaking, look down. She says, Father is still in the keep. We haven't had any word from inside in weeks. Anyone we've tried to send in doesn't make it back. So we're not really sure what's going on inside at the moment. And she, saying this, looks down fully, just at her feet, almost stood at attention, and Edryd tunes in at this point and she says, yes, Lady Darkrove, it is good to have you here, but I really can't give you much news other than what we know of that happened when this all began.
So what did happen? When did they come?
It was just about a couple of months ago. I had been up at the keep working in the training grounds, and we had received word that there were people in the city looking for an audience with your father, with some news of you, they had said, and all of us scoffed at the mention, and figured this to be a nuisance, nothing more than, someone playing a prank of some sort or something along those lines, and thought nothing more. I continued with Tessa in the training grounds. We were sparring at the time, and maybe an hour or so later, we heard shouting inside the keep and went to move to figure out what was going on, and all of what I thought were my guard in the area turned on us, and we barely made it out with our lives, and that was the last that we saw within the keeps. Since then, we've, tried to find a safe place. There hasn't been much for hunting us down, in a sense. They essentially just let us be. We haven't caused much trouble since, but found this, talking with Aether, and set up a bit of a operations headquarters here while we tried to figure out what was going on. I had a few members of the guard who were still in the city who seemed to me to be loyal, and I sent many in to try and figure out what was going on inside the keep, and as Tessa has said, none returned. I was hoping that hearing you were headed here from Lorenzo, that you might have some better news for me, some inkling as to what's going on.
Well, we do know who it is, but we don't really have a plan any plan at all, really. I only found out that this had happened at all a few days ago, and we came as fast as we could.
Yes, I'm not surprised that not much has gotten in or out of the city, really. I'm surprised you were able to get in. And he glances at all of you and almost like a look of respect. It's to that. We haven't been able to send word out. Again, nothing has come back into the city. I've sent scouts out. I've sent runners to bring word to nearby cities for aid, and nothing. About a week after this happened at the keep, the docks, many ships seemed to come in and blockade the docks, and others tried to come in, but it took one merchant ship that unfortunately didn't make it, and now sits just outside the docks as an example. They executed and hung the crew to turn anyone away from coming here. So we've had no word in either.
So there's ships blocking the docks?
Yes.
Where did they get those resources?
I couldn't say. I'm not even sure exactly who these people are.
So how long has it been then, since all of this started?
Close to a couple months.
It's a long time.
And they've just been hanging out in the keep, or
the ship that was with the crew was executed. What was that ship called? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not Dockmaster. We couldn't get any. I mean, that information might be available at the docks, but again, that would be a dangerous task to head that way, and just for that information.
Is the Wolfmaster still working there, or?
From all that I know, there are still people going about their days. The only difference is, as you saw coming in, the glass guard that remains in the city have changed. Something odd about them. They seem not of their own volition. They act out of spite for something that I cannot grasp or figure out why.
We know why that is happening.
Well, that is some better news than we've received in any weeks recent, so...
So you had not been able to infiltrate the keep at all? Not had any contacts with the people who work there?
Anyone who has gone in, possibly, but they have not come out. We've not received any word.
So people in the city are going about the regular business, but not people in the keep, like this...
It does seem
the
that
stable
way.
master or the head gardener.
They may still be there. They may still be going about their duties, for all I know. I am ashamed to admit, but have not tried to set my own foot there. Based off of the reaction that Tessa and I received immediately, we were set upon. There were violent intention inside of their eyes when they came at us. These were not the men that I trained or served with over these past years. They were something else.
They're being charmed.
Well, that would make a bit more sense. I had surmised as much, but had no proof to come to that conclusion on my own.
Do you have any sort of resistance starting? Anybody who's...
There's no one who believes that a resistance is necessary, other than the hand of the god getting a bit heavy and a bit abusive verbally, maybe. No one really seems to think anything is going wrong.
Is there any word from your sisters or your mother?
I haven't heard anything. They were in the keep when this all happened. I can only imagine that if an example was trying to be made like at the docks, we would know by now if something had happened to them, and that is the only hope that I can hold at the moment, that they are safe. But what has become of them, I do not know, and I try to block it out as best I can.
What of Orlin and Owena? Are they still out of the city?
Best I know. If they've sent word in recent, we wouldn't know, but last I had heard, their letters had said that they were venturing off out west towards Zentos. What's your passive perception? Actually, what's your passive insight?
19 for both.
19?
Yeah.
Because of that, I want you to make an insight check, or for just a perception check for me, as he says that they were heading to Zentos. I'm trying. The remote's not working.
26.
26. Yeah. I was like, I keep putting the remote down and trying. It's not working. It just worked now, though. A 26. As Edryd mentions Zentos, next to him you see Lorenzo shift a little uncomfortably. And, like, almost a brief pained look in his eyes as he straightens back up and tunes back into the conversation. Edryd continues and says, but at least we can take some solace in the fact that wherever they are safe as one can be traveling the seas near Zentos. But
I've sent messages to, magically speaking, to both Persimmon and Sylwyn, and neither of them could give me any pertinent information as to what's happening in the keep other than that they are safe.
But you have heard from them.
I've heard from them, yes.
That is good.
And
you see him almost like relax a little bit, like a weight off of his shoulders, just a tad.
I could also send some messages to your mother or your sisters.
If that were a possibility, I would not beg this of you, but if you have the capabilities, I would be much appreciative of the efforts.
I might want to hold on to it for now, just in case I need those spells later, but I will make sure to check in. Music's just
weird.
loud as hell.
I'm sorry.
I am having such a hard time.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm trying.
Oh, there we go.
Better?
Oh, great.
Good.
Okay, great. We did it, everybody. All right. And how long has the lighthouse been off?
We haven't seen it come on until about when the docks were taken. Shortly after that, it went dark and
It hasn't been lit since.
it hasn't been lit since.
And you have not seen anything of Leolin?
No, I'd imagine if somehow the light were shut off, that he was found or coaxed into doing so. He's not one to leave the light off.
Right.
But, again, is another one that we have had no word of.
What of Fiona Silcourt or the Cinderfangs of the blacksmith?
For all I know, they're going about their daily duties, still working in their forges.
So the city is basically functioning as it was.
It seems to be that way.
Well, what of like law and order and the is like sorry. Special victims unit. Wow, I really got thrown off by that. That was really funny. I'm really sorry. It's a good joke. What was I saying? Oh, are they taking people into the keep for any reason? Like
If anyone knew, well, you were the first new to really walk these streets in weeks, but at first when people would come in new, they would be asked to visit the keep by the glass guard. Never forcibly, but with a bit of persuasion enough that none really refused. But we never saw anybody come out, the same as the people that we sent up there.
And the captors of the city have made no moves to introduce themselves as the new heads of the city or anything? Or are they just hanging out in the keep?
No, for all we know, no word has come from the keep at all. We have not heard from your father,
There's been no demands.
my mother. There's been no demands at all. The only thing I knew was that they came claiming they had information about you.
That's odd.
What do we do here?
Not quite sure.
Are we sure there's not something else going on? Cause, I feel like this is all just such a big plan just for getting it to you.
It also strikes me as odd that Zaelin isn't lauding the fact that he has control of the city.
Yeah,
He's an arrogant man.
Yeah, and with the other people traveling with them, making them also powerful, I feel like they don't need to capture our city to get to us. They can just go out over to us and find us that way.
Well, this does give them quite the advantage because it gives them many hostages with which I'm not willing to negotiate their lives.
That far.
So it does give them an advantage when it comes to negotiating with us. But I'm just confused because Zaelin is definitely the type of man to
Be king of city.
lord this over the people.
I mean,
do that
clearly
too.
something more is going on, though. If Zaelin is now working with the sisters, I mean, why? What are they must have a motive that
What is the ultimate
he is a
goal?
piece in their plan,
Wait,
right?
how long has our party been traveling together?
It's been about 4 months.
4 months?
We've only known each other for 4 months.
When did they say that they took over the city?
Close to 2 months ago.
Okay.
So it was 2-3 months
Where
after
were
we
we
left
2
Zaelin.
months ago?
I think that was around the time that you would have been...
Probably like Dead Karen. You were there for a long time.
I think you were either in Dead Cairn or just traveling towards Whitehorn at that point.
Was this after or around the time when we encountered Seven's brother and Phaetra in the forest?
Probably similarly around that time.
Okay.
Maybe not exact, but close.
Well, but we also know that they were in Dead Cairn because they're the ones that poisoned Idris, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which would have been around the same timing.
So you say there are people going into the keep, but they're not leaving.
Right.
Are these all sorts of people, or are there anything similar amongst them?
I'm not sure I catch what you mean.
Is there any causation as to why only these people? Is it just because they're new to the city, or is it because they have some other deeper connection that they're being held there?
I'm not sure. I mean, it hasn't been many people that have gone up there. Mostly people that I sent myself to figure out what was going on in the city, and if anybody new had come through.
Well, other than your own scouts, have there been any commoners sent there and have never returned?
It is possible.
Have you seen any of the creatures with smoke pouring from their eyes?
Creatures.
I'm going to take that as a no.
What time is it?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
We came over
probably
here
like-
right in the morning.
Yeah, it's like nearing afternoon. You guys woke up and made your way over here, basically. It's like still late morning.
Well, I think it's safe to say that any person who went up to keep is probably like charmed or turned into monster or something.
But what... I fail to understand what type of being could, or creature or person could have a charming effect to this extent. This is far beyond the reaches of anything I've ever seen or heard of being possible.
Is it possible to take a walk around the castle without getting caught?
I would assume no, but
How-
you made your way in here, so I guess it's not...
So none of you
Outside
have
of
any
the realm of
have
possibilities.
never, none of you have been close to the castle since.
Not since we were driven out, no.
Is there no visible guard from around the keep or anything
There's
of that sort?
Plenty of my men patrolling the grounds. They have always seemed like they were prepared for something. That's the best I can surmise. For a while, until you just told me that it was possible they were charmed, confirming that suspicion, it seemed like they were in on this plot, all of them. And I was kicking myself for not having realized it and put our city in this situation, so I must admit that is a bit of a relief off of my back
It's
to know
not
that
your fault, Edryd.
Well-
None of this is your fault.
they took the keep, they took our families.
I know.
Whether it's my fault or not, I didn't do anything to stop it. I couldn't. I was powerless.
Nothing could have stopped this. If those people are incredibly powerful, and nothing short of divine intervention could have stopped this.
He thinks for a moment and kind of just doesn't respond for a second. And then just turns to you and says, well, Lady Darkgrove, it seems that Valkyr has smiled upon us this day because, against all odds, you came back to us, to this city, so there must be something, some form of divine watching over us in some way, shape, or form, because this is unexpected, so if you can do it, then that must mean there's got to be some hope for our city. And,
Well, don't put that much on me yet, but we're going to try our best.
well, I don't know if I only speak for myself, and he glances around the room to all the ruffians and everybody in there, and he says, but, well, Lady Darkgrove, we are at your disposal. Whatever you need. You can see all of them look and almost give, the kind of rougher, harder individuals just give, a nod, but don't really say anything, just looking intently in all of your directions, and Lorenzo gives a very visible nod and just says, yes, it is why I am here.
Well, first things first, we need a plan of action.
Right, that would probably be a good idea, I think. I've only been here for a couple of days and did my own bit of scouting as much as I could, but it's really hard to see anything other than what your friend here has told us. There are patrols that surround the keep constantly, seemingly active, looking for something.
We're
But what
trying
it
to
is-
think of a way to perhaps lure them out of the keep.
Well, maybe we should go to the docks first. See what we can find there. Because if they're protecting that part of the city, it means they're protecting something. Right?
That is a possibility, or it might just be
So if
keeping people out from the ocean, which, I mean, we're not a huge port city, but large enough. We do usually have new ships coming in every day or so.
You mentioned that this man had a bit of a complex, someone who would lord over the fact that he had taken the city, yes?
Yes.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it almost stands to reason that if he is not lording that over, it is for a reason that he is waiting for something or someone's, and
He's waiting to
glances to
show
you all.
his cards.
At least that is what I would assume, based on what you have just said.
Lorenzo, would you mind taking me on your scouting route? I would like to just take a look at the gods and the people around the castle.
I would be happy to. I'm not sure if you could keep up. Oh, wait, that reminds me. I was saving these for when you all came to Whitehorn again, but since you are here and I knew I'd run into you, I figured I would bring them for you. He pulls a satchel out from around his waist and reaches in, and it seems to be a bag of holding. As he pulls out 7, he turns to you and goes, well, this might help you keep up on what it is that we plan to do, and pulls out a pair of boots that have like little wings, like leather wings fashioned on the side of the boots. He goes, I can't say that I know you very well, but I figured that, well, I know a little of your kind, and I know that flight isn't necessarily something that they're known for. But maybe these will help out with that. And he gives you
Holy
the pair
shit.
of boots.
You just got Hermes' sandals, bro.
I was thinking
Holy
like
shit,
reverse
do you have
bird feet?
flash
I have bird
stuff.
feet now.
Do you have special socks to fit into regular boots?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Well, magic items just conform to whoever.
Those
They
are the weirdest
become
looking
bird
boots I've ever
boots.
seen.
They just
Uh,
become anklets.
So I forgot to make the item cards before we started, so I'll have to,
You could put them in my inventory too, and I could read them out.
yeah. They're winged boots. You have a flying speed, the same as your walking speed, for up to 4 hours per day. You can use them in increments of 1 minute, or you can use all 4 hours at once. And then it recharges 2 hours worth of time every 12 hours they are not in use. So
Wow.
Okay.
essentially you can fly now.
You can fly, you can fly.
And
you
he
can fly.
says, well, this might help all of us here at this point in time, so I might as well bring all the presents I brought for everybody. And he pulls out
oh my god.
this
Oh, I
almost like
these.
beret-like hat and hands it to you, Tail, and goes, I know the last time I saw you, you were having trouble, well, not wearing that bulky suit of armor everywhere you went, and I figured maybe this would help.
A hat?
It is a hat of disguise. You can cast a disguise self spell at will.
Oh, no.
So, like,
Doesn't take a slot.
nope. You just can be always disguised, essentially.
Oh, okay. I put it
Disguises
on my
himself
helmet.
as who,
the
man?
helmet with the fucking
I have a
beret
hat
on
on my
top.
I have a beret on my helmet.
That's the dumbest looking outfit I ever heard.
You're gonna he just watches you put it on your helmet, just because that's not what I. Very well. That does require attunement as well as your boots. Keep that
Okay.
in mind. Nyx, he pulls out this stone and turns to you and just says, This is something that, well, I figured it might be of good use to you. And he hands it to you. This is a Lux Stone. And hands you it. This gives you...
so bad at being rogue.
This-
Mason was like,
this
bitch is terrible.
It's not exactly what you think it is. This stone, it still is kind of, but it's not. It doesn't give you luck. This stone gives you a +1 just permanently to all of your saving throws and ability checks.
What the fuck?
I believe it also acquires attunement. I will have to check on that one.
Whoa.
Mason was really like, this bitch rolls so bad.
I also haven't given you guys magic items in a while, so I
That's-
figured it was.
I just got
Again, this was planned if you had fucking gone a Whitehorn. So, here we are. And then Nimue, he turns to you and pulls out this necklace that has a gold chain and this like golden amulet on it. It says, this is for you. May I?
Oh.
He goes to,
Sure.
he puts it on, kind of brushes your hair aside and like puts the necklace on and steps back and admires and says, it looks good on you. It matches your eyes.
Oh.
Does this hat match my eyes, Lorenzo?
The glowing red eyes.
If you wish it to,
Do you want to
it can
put
make them.
the hat on my head? Here you go. I give him the hat, then I tilt my head down.
He takes it back and just looks at all of you and slowly puts the hat on your head and goes, there, and pats your shoulder.
Oh, I'm
and
so
says,
flattered.
it looks amazing. You look superb, my friend.
Oh, you look.
So what
that's-
is this
that's
necklace do?
fine.
You?
Well,
Is it just pretty? I love
it is just pretty. No. I was hoping to, keep you safe in the event that anything were to befall us on this expedition. This is an amulet of health. Your constitution score is a 19 now.
What the fuck?
Whoa, okay. Lorenzo played
Perks of
favorites
flirting.
here.
Yeah, you did. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
I've been flirting with Lorenzo the whole time. What do I get?
You've been flirting with everybody the whole time.
That's so funny.
And one more thing, this is more of a group present. And he pulls out another object and kind of just hands it out to all of you. And you can see this bronze little statuette of a griffin.
Easy
Just,
to pet.
like holds it out to
Hold my
it
hand
can
out.
be.
Okay.
He hesitates before handing it to Tail and looks at all of you.
I don't know if that's like.
I take Valley and I put it on. How big is it?
Oh,
He just hands it to you.
How big is the griffin?
It's a figurine, so it's like, it's probably a little too small to be like Valley's wooden horse,
Oh, I'm really sad now.
but it's not like tiny. It's not like mini size. It's just like, figurine.
Well, it's gonna be Valley's pet, so I strap it next to Valley on my head.
And that does.
Oh, right. How would he in character explain this? Well, if you are ever to need an ally in a tight pinch, that fake griffin will turn into a real griffin for 6 hours.
Oh, that's cool.
But it
Only
must
once?
have 5 days in between to gain that ability back.
Oh,
It is at your command. These are all things, perks that are, able to be granted to you based on being seekers, so it was easy for me to pull this stuff out of the archives and bring it here.
That is
You'd be
so.
surprised at the
thank you.
things that are available back in the Blackhold.
oh, we should go there next time.
I thought you were going to, so I would have shown you all of the wondrous things that you had access to, but
I'm
Here we are.
I'm feeling this is getting a little passive aggressive, Lorenzo.
no, this is
I don't like,
being passive
like your
aggressive.
energy right now.
Killing the vibes, bro.
Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Bro, what? Okay.
Kendrick Lorenzo?
Exactly.
Ooh, cool. Oh, fuck. Ooh, I'm at 92 hit points now.
Damn. So now that
I
I've
think I
given
have
out
the
all
most-
of
More
the
hit points
wonderful
than I do.
items for you all, the presents, anyway, that should help you keep up if you wish to go on a scouting mission with me. We could probably set something up for this evening. Better to go
Sure.
around nightfall.
Do you want me to turn you to invisible?
That would help
Only
even more
lasts
so.
for an hour.
I can blend in quite well, but it could be extremely useful.
I probably shouldn't go on any scouting missions.
Ooh, I might as well. Wouldn't hurt being invisible.
So what is it that you are looking to find on this venture?
Just some more information. I just wanted to see how the gods were kind of acting, and as well as the villagers closest to the castle.
Very well.
Should we make a plan after the scouting mission, or
Yeah,
do we need to go
I
to the
don't think we
docks?
have enough information to.
Let
To
us
formulate a
wait until
plan.
after scouting mission. With new information, we make new plan.
I did not prepare scry today. Mistakes.
I feel like we do need to at least investigate the docks at some point. Or at least figure out a way to get this blockade out of the way so that we can possibly get information and aid to this city.
Well, I
To and
would
from
be
the city.
Well, from what we do know, they do have multiple ships in the docks armed to the teeth. The cannon fire on that day that they took down the merchant vessel was not many ships suited for trade house that much weaponry on them, I'll put it that way.
Do you know the name of the ship?
No, I
perhaps?
was nowhere there. It was more...
Not the merchant's ship, but the ones just
Right.
patrolling the harbor.
I was not near the docks. We haven't heard anything. I haven't been near... we could try and send somebody, or if you two, in your scouting this evening, step by the dock... that probably wouldn't work. You're heading to the keep. But I could send somebody to find the names.
I could also go 5 underwater, a lot hotter to spot.
That's a good point.
We could go while you guys take your scouting mission.
Okay. I feel like gaining some information would be most fortuitous. We need to figure out what to do, and we can plan more accordingly if we know more things.
I'm also wondering if perhaps Zaylin is also under the charm of your sister.
Oh, he most likely is.
But
In
if
fact,
that's
he
the case,
probably is.
why are they here?
I
Wouldn't
have no idea
Zaylin
why
want to
they're
be
here.
doing what your sisters want?
You know,
I don't know
Maybe
why they're
it's
here.
more of a subtle charm they're putting on him.
That's why I'm going on this scouting mission. I think I need to go see some things for myself. But I can't tell you why my sisters are here. I have no idea if they have some sort of personal agenda or if they are merely doing what they are doing for entertainment.
Also, at the point in time that they took over the city, we had only known each other for 2 months. How would they have known that we were traveling together?
And that is when they took the city, not even when they were traveling with the group before. So they were probably traveling as Alan's group long before they took city, you know?
Well, they would have had to start traveling with him immediately after we left.
Yeah.
So how would they have known to meet up with Zaylin in order to have a connection with Seven?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying this is very
Because we didn't
suspicious.
even know Seven yet.
I'm not sure. I honestly have no idea.
Do you know if there's anything here in city that's super valuable?
There's a lot of things in the city that are super valuable.
Anything
city.
super valuable to crazy people?
Would I know if there's something in the city that's like would be of like incredible value to like Seven's family or something?
There's a golden spoon.
Yeah, like an item or something that we're holding, or
favorite
like like something that like the city's like hiding or protecting.
Yeah, it's you.
Lame.
Dun dun dun.
Make an
the
intelligence check.
Intelligence.
Wah wah. Why
Why
not
you have to be
Constitution?
little
Yeah,
dumb?
yeah, this is
Make a
bullshit.
constitution check. What does your heart say?
What does my heart say? Not like a history.
No, the only thing that I can think of that might have a connection, you're gonna need to just remember.
I'll use a different dice.
That's not how you remember.
9.
Nor that.
There's nothing that you can think of within Pharsalus that holds, with what you know of Seven's siblings, and the little that you know about like what drives whatever it is that they're up to. There's nothing in Pharsalus that you can think of off the top of your head that has any bearing on why they would be present in doing this. I'd like to go with you to the docks, if that's all right, Nimue.
Is that
Tessa speaks up and kind of looks up and actually makes eye contact with you and holds it. I was with Edryd, and I feel like I could have done more as well, and would like to do more.
If you had fought back, you would both be in the same position as the rest of the guard.
Maybe you don't know that. We can't know that. She looks back down.
I feel like you can come to the docks with us, but my only concern is that we need to keep the missions in small groups in order to stay as stealthy as possible. And I'll be the only one that can breathe underwater. So getting closer to those other ships will be... There's not really much that
I could make myself invisible too, and I'm not really worried about... I don't know, maybe there's something on the docks that we could find.
Well, if you can talk to, who the fuck is the guy who runs the docks? His name is Wharfmaster Aaron Softscale. If you can find Aaron Softscale and talk to him, that would be the most helpful while I go and scout out the ships.
I can do that.
Until, obviously, listen to you, Tessa. But I don't know if he's even still there.
Or if he has his own mind right now.
That is also fair.
So we need to be conscious of the fact that many might not be of their own mind.
And would turn you in gladly.
Right.
I could also try to send messages to them first.
Well, you did mention that you were looking for a way to possibly lure them out, were you not?
Yeah?
Would this not be a viable option of possibly even getting somebody you know now into the inside, worst case scenario? If I approach the wharf master and he is to turn me in, then that would A, confirm the suspicions that we have that they are being controlled, and B, would put somebody very close to you onto the inside.
Wait, who's saying this?
Tessa.
Okay.
The only problem that I see with that is that you would then be charmed. Possibly. And if that's the case, then we lose a very valuable ally.
But you
And
would
we need
know.
everybody we need everybody right now, Tessa. I know that you're eager to prove yourself, but there's no reason to throw it away. We need all the allies that we can get right now, and you are far too valuable to just give up to the enemy.
She just gives a weak nod and straightens up and just continues to look at the ground, listening.
So tonight, some of us go to the docks. You and Lorenzo are going to go scout.
Yes.
Tail, where are you going to go?
Wherever someone needs me.
That's so cute.
Which is, I don't know. I don't know what I can do here. I'm not very stealthy right now with
Yeah,
this
but you,
armor.
now you have a hat
Oh, yeah.
that can disguise
Right,
yourself.
but it won't disguise the sound of that very bulky armor that he wears.
Well, I will take the armor off. Anyone have regular spare armor?
I still have that mithril armor.
Oh, can you not use that?
No, I've got my breastplate.
Can I use that?
Yeah, here it is. It's just been
Okay.
sitting in the bag of holding.
Well, I'm going to change in front of everybody.
Tail just starts pulling off like plates and tossing them onto the ground, and there's that like shuffle of all these like manly men standing around a table who then start just awkwardly like shuffling into each other and like turn to the table and start mumbling to themselves.
Get over your toxic masculinity.
You're in a tavern den of fucking like
They're seeing
Underground.
a hobgoblin strip in
Yeah.
front of them.
Do I know any of these men?
I wouldn't say personally. These are all just like
Okay. They're just
Like
citizens of
thugs,
Farslos.
essentially,
Okay.
that are part of whatever Aether is involved in.
Nah.
What color is my beret?
Well, you can make it be any color you would like.
But what
That's
color
the-
is it
Oh, what color
naturally?
is it now?
It's like a deep maroon.
It matches your skin.
His skin's like terracotta.
Okay.
It's lighter. Has a little bit more like white and tan to it. This is like deep maroon. Like blood red.
What I put on.
Came off the top of my head.
Put it on. And I put that on.
Okay.
I'm all set. Where am I going? Anyone?
Well-
Not me? I'll go wherever.
You do have to take a little bit of time to attune to this item
Yeah.
for it to work.
Well, we have to wait until sundown to go on these scouting missions anyway, so we can all sit down and attune to our new items.
Yep.
Oh,
We can be attuned to 3 things, right?
Mm-hmm.
ruh-roh.
Oh shit!
Are you already attuned to 3 things?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of.
But the Lux Stone is so fucking good.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You gotta get rid of some.
Obviously.
Did you
gonna
look it up?
fucking
Do I need
attune
to
that.
give
I-
you exact? I'm pretty sure it's.
I got
just
the Amulet of Health. Yeah, I already added it and attuned to it and everything. So.
I will.
D&D Beyond.
It's literal. For mine is literally called the Lux Stone.
It's called. It's got Lux Stone is like, yes, it is its name, but it is also called It's the Stone of Good Fortune, I believe. Here we go. Yeah, Stone of. Oh, it's the Stone of Good Luck, or the Lux Stone.
You know, and that bonus to Constitution is gonna be so helpful for concentration checks.
That's nice.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so it's like polished agate essentially, and you gain +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws while it's on your person. I don't believe it requires attunement, actually. Let me look. It's not loading.
That would be nice. Then you wouldn't have to get rid of anything. Something that powerful isn't attunement. That's
It is
odd.
attuned, sorry.
Okay.
I have to unattune to my helmet.
So the eyes can't glow anymore.
No, it's just blank. I'm sad.
You're not even wearing the armor.
So I can wear the helmet without the armor. I'm just gonna do just
What else
that.
are you attuned to? Oh, is it your weapon?
My weapon and the Pearl of Power.
Oh right.
Ah.
How many attunements do you have?
This is literally my first one.
You don't have to attune
The
to your
bow
bow.
isn't-
Oh wait, the
attunement-
bow. I forgot about the bow. The only thing I was thinking of was my cloak.
Are you
and
full
that's
up?
definitely not an
No,
attunement.
I've got a spare slot.
Well, you guys, I've got the Clockwork Amulet. Do you remember that? It's when
Oh.
you hit somebody, and if you get less than a 10, you can automatically make it a 10.
That would probably be pretty good for 7.
I forgot.
When
you
was
had
the last
that.
time you ever used that? Did you
I've
ever
never
used
used it because I've forgotten that I had it.
it?
So it would have been very helpful.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I can think of a lot of times that would have
That's
been
what a
helpful.
6-month break does. Okay. Do you want it?
Sure, I'll take it.
Well, is there anything you guys would like to do? Any conversations you would like to have with anybody present or each other in the time while we wait for evening?
Wait,
Yes.
so where am I going?
Oh,
Hold on. Nix.
it's well.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
Who are you asking?
Well,
Does
where do you
I
want to
need
go?
it?
It doesn't. I just picked one.
Well, I can't swim,
I can't
so I
swim.
can't help unless we're blowing up the ships. But so we are not doing that because we are super stealthy. I'm not super fast. I mean, I'm not super slow. But stealth missions for scouting castle, I think that best left to Lorenzo and Saffron. So I don't know where I should go.
Well, if you want to go with them, because I can cast invisibility too, so I can cast it on one of you, and then you can twin spell the other two. If you want,
No, it's okay.
you
I'm
cast
bad at
invisibility on me all the
No,
time.
I just bad at scouting.
Oh, right.
I don't know what I'll
Think
see.
about the mission.
Yeah, the
pro-
mission.
Probably lots of things going on that I might see and distract me.
I don't know. You never know what you can learn from just the people you talk to. There's
You
plenty of
could-
people in here.
Try to formulate a plan with Edryd and talk to him about. You're excellent at coming up with, with. What am I trying to say? War, battle plans, things like that. You can talk to him about the things that he's
long
seen.
time since I make plans for raiding things.
It's only been like 2 months.
What?
Well, there was the last time we made a heist plan. That went really great.
Oh, I
That's what I'm
forgot
talking
about
about.
the heist. I wasn't talking about that either.
That went horribly.
Okay, time to get back in mindset of Goblin Chief. War Chief. Ha! I shall make strategic plan to win all battles. Okay, I'll stay here. Edryd, I'm Teyal. Nice to meet you. I'm your best friend now. Okay, let's go to work.
Edryd was my best friend as a child, and you're my best friend now, so...
Oh, okay. So you're my
Wow.
best friend as child too.
It is nice to meet you, Tail.
Nice to
And he
meet you.
reaches out a hand to shake your hand.
Shake his hand.
Says, we'd appreciate any of the help we could get with tactics at the moment, especially if you have inside knowledge of this group that seems to have implanted themselves within our keep. So
Okay,
your help is more than welcome.
sound good to me.
Do I know of any, like, secret passages or anything like that that might have gone into the keep? That we might have had as, like, safe routes to
Make a
get
history
out?
check.
I should have just come up with this in my backstory, but
Yeah.
then I would
Make
just
it right
know.
now.
There's a secret tunnel I know of.
Yeah.
There's a well that she can breathe and swim down through that goes up.
It has facial
Exactly.
recognition, so only I can open
Yeah,
it.
Exactly.
Teleportation
And
system.
I never told Mason the DM about it. It was only a 10.
A 10. You growing up, the keep was very different from a lot of the keeps and nobility that you've heard of and come across throughout Feldspire. It's a very open door policy, so just trying to think about it, you'd imagine that secret entrances, if there were any, were probably sparsely used and no one really talked about them because they weren't needed.
Mm-hmm. But I would know of, like, servant entrances and stuff like that, though.
Yeah, there's definitely like staff entrances and things.
Okay.
I mean, there's plenty of, well, I wouldn't say plenty, more so there's like the main courtyard entrance to the Verdant Keep, but there's still, multiple doors around the circumference of it because it's a large building, and if you had to walk from outside to the front of the building every time to get in, that would just suck.
Fair. Yep. Okay. Well, I'll just tell Seven and Lorenzo, like, the basic, like, layout of it and where the servant entrances are and that sort of thing. And
'Kay.
just give them, like, kind of a rundown of the area so they have, like, more luck and, like, where to look for their scouting trip.
Perfect. While you're out at the docks, if you happen to get close enough, if you're looking at the crew of people on the guard ships on the blockade, would you mind getting a very thorough description of them?
Of the guards?
Of anyone on the ship, really. Anyone that you happen to be able to see without being noticed.
I'll do my
Alright.
best. In fact, it might be best if you make me invisible so I can get as close to the ships as possible.
Oh, that would be
Okay.
a very good idea.
I probably shouldn't go then because... Oh, we're taking a long rest, right? Is that what we're doing right now?
We're taking a short
You
rest.
can. I'm going with the rule of we haven't attuned to items for a while, so we'll rehash that. Like long rests are like an always attuned to items, but if you take some time to like sit and focus on that item, I'd say given an hour or two, you can attune to it if that's your sole focus on what you're
Okay.
doing.
I still have a first level exhaustion, so probably not going to go to the docks with you.
Oh, okay.
I'll cast the invisibility on you.
So it'll be just Tessa and I going to the docks? Okay.
That's... Yeah, it'll go poorly if I don't.
Oh, you can stay
That's
with
I
me.
can cast
Come up with
enhance ability
battle
on you
plan.
again. So that way you don't have
Well, it's not
disadvantage
like
on
you're
dis-
getting into combat, you're just scouting things out.
Yeah, but if I get caught...
Alright, fair enough.
Just stay with me. I'll make battle plan.
Alright, that's fine. Tessa and I will go to the docks then.
She gives a nod at this. What was it that you wanted to?
I wanted to see if they had like a mortar and pestle or something like at we're at a tavern, right?
Mhm.
At the tavern where I could grind up my last shadow mushroom into like a paste and apply it to my arrows.
I think a mortar and pestle is easy enough to find.
I would
Okay.
like to direct hallucination right into the bloodstreams.
Just inject hallucinogens.
How many arrows can I apply it to?
How many did you get? 3?
I had 3 mushrooms,
You
but I
put
used
one in
2
the guy's,
to drug
you
the
put
guards.
2 in the guy's mouth. So
I
you have-
no, I gave 1 to one guard, and I gave him the other one
was
and told him
medicine,
to drug
yeah.
the other guy, basically.
And you have 1 left. Oh,
yeah,
here.
imagine they're like.
Oh,
mushrooms.
Nix.
I have more.
I have 4. Did you want 2 of them?
Did you take some?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I
I mean,
kept some.
if you want to put them on your
I
weapons
took
I
too,
one
want
I
though.
to
just think they
some
could be
and make
useful.
them pet.
I have a bear trap. I don't know where I got that.
You want to apply a bear trap to her arrows?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you guys aren't
I
going to
just
use them,
realized that I have a bear
listen,
trap.
I'm not going to just hit anybody with these. I just think that it could be useful.
Okay, here, I'll give you 2 of mine.
Thank you. So 3.
3. 3 mushrooms. I mean, you probably could make enough paste to coat. Let's say. I'd say 3 arrows per mushroom.
Oh, okay.
So you have 9 of them.
9
Great.
hallucinogen
Nice.
arrows. Dude, that
Straight
fucking
into the
slaps.
bloodstream if you
Trip
shoot them.
arrows.
Trip arrows.
Trip arrows.
I love that.
Space arrows.
Is there anything else that anyone
Getting
would
shot
like
by this will
to?
send you to space.
I will pull Lorenzo aside.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, there's not a ton of space down here, but there's like a corner of the room that's.
Just like a side
Less
to just like have like
occupied.
a more private conversation.
He steps over and just goes, "Oh, well, hello there."
General
Lorenzo.
Kenobi. I'm sorry.
For what?
I told you we were coming to Whitestone and then we did not.
Look,
And-
you owe me no apology. Your family comes first. I, for one, have never had good dealings with mine, so knowing somebody that has a little bit better standing with theirs, I cannot be angry at you for doing what you did. I just wish you had told me what was going on sooner. I could have maybe done something more to help.
This is kind of you. You being here is all I could have ever asked for. But it does worry me that essentially everybody I care about is here and in danger now.
That's the unfortunate part about having people who care about you, isn't it?
I suppose. I don't know what to say. I don't know if you ever received a package back in Whitehorn. I sent you a sending stone.
Oh, no, I didn't quite receive it yet, but I'm sure it will be waiting for me upon my return.
Probably. I figured it would be helpful, so that way it wasn't always just me reaching out to you. And that was our only form of communication, especially if I had to spend all my spells that day.
Well, I'm sure we can make it work pretty easily now.
Possibly. How are things back in Whitehorn? Is everything all right there?
Well, I've been a little bit more focused on my recovery. Other than that, the city seems to be running all right.
Are you still the Master Keeper there?
About that, I stepped down shortly after the our return from the Underdark. At the time, it didn't feel like I could uphold what the position required. And then as time went on and I got my legs back, so to speak, it just didn't interest me anymore. So I signed back up with the Seekers and, well, was looking at doing some more long-range scouting across Feldspire when all of this happened. So it looks like, whether I wanted it or not, I'm back out in the field.
Oh. Well, all right. I'm happy that you decided.
Leadership is just not my thing.
Mine either.
Make an insight check.
God
Jesus.
damn it.
Yeah, twice already.
What are you doing to these dice?
Breaking them.
16?
16. The speed in which he responds with that, saying leadership isn't his thing, and just the like attitude behind it seems weighted. And he just says, "So, that's about how it's been with me. How about you all? I mean, you've kept me
Lead
pretty
off.
well updated as we've gone along, but
Yes, I mean, there's not really anything new to tell you about except for, well, all of this.
right. Well, regardless of the circumstances, I am glad to have ran into you again."
So,
Yes.
I saw that you reacted kind of oddly when Zentos was brought up.
Right. Well,
If you don't want to tell me why, you're not obligated.
it's
It's not as if I've told you everything about myself.
a long story, maybe better saved for not troubling times.
Alright. I won't press you for it.
I appreciate that.
Well, we should get going on our scouting missions.
After you.
Alright.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do before you kind of just hang out?
Attune to our items,
Yeah, Vidin, attune
Yeah.
to our items.
and then
'Kay.
go out on our scouting missions.
All right. So you spend the rest of the afternoon kind of just, focusing on this connection to these magical items you've just been given. Some food is brought down from the tavern, so you are fed and well rested as evening draws near. And as that time comes around, Lorenzo steps up to you, Seven, and you can see he's kind of put down the satchel that he was carrying, and right now he just has what looks very similar to the elven chainmail that was given to Tail that Nimue had once worn on, and like this forest green cloak that almost seems to, like, in the right angle, blend in with the environment around him, and just steps up and goes, "So, are you ready for our jaunt?
Yes, I'm quite ready.
Well, let's hope you can keep up."
Let's hope so too.
So,
You guys weren't casting invisibility on one of us, right?
Did you
It was
want
just...
the invisibility?
that is up to you, my friend.
Okay, not like I'm doing anything else.
I'll twin spell invisibility on the two of them.
Okay. So, both you and Lorenzo, just you watch both of them vanish. Then you two head up. Tessa steps up to you, Nimue, and says, she appears, she's like, when you'd come down there, she was wearing like a heavy breastplate and things, but she seems to have taken that off in favor for more like sleek leather armor, essentially, and has a sword at her hip, like the typical glass guard sword, and just steps up as she's putting her hair up into a bun. She says, "All right, well, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's get going to the docks.
Lead the way."
Do you want me to?
Yes, so to be. Well, first, I'm going to cast Enhance Ability at 2nd level. Or, not 2nd level, at 3rd level. And cast the one for Dexterity on both Tess and myself.
'Kay.
Now casting Invisibility.
Okay, perfect. All right. And Tail, you're just hanging out.
Yeah.
So, as
With
they all.
me.
Oh, I thought you were going with. No, you're not. You're staying. Okay,
Mhm.
got it.
Exhausted.
I guess we just cast invisibility spells and then the
Come
job
up
is
with
done.
battle plan.
What's that?
Coming up with the plan.
Oh, right.
Or some sort of plan unless we got new information.
Okay. I'll help you.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, as they leave, Edryd just pulls you both over, and you can see on the table is a very crudely, none of them here appear to be artists, more just the people who hold the swords, but like a crudely drawn map of Pharsalis. And there are a few, like in the Merc itself, there's a few different like guard patrols that have some notations by it. None of the ones in the Merc seem to be in normal intervals or even scheduled. There just seems to be patrols that pass through here. But the rest of it is like as it gets further and further in deeper into the city, any information they have kind of just seems distant and sparse. Let's see, who should we start with? We'll go Seven and Lorenzo. So, you both exit out of the tavern itself, and you can hear Lorenzo just goes, "All right, so I'm going to stick to the roofs. Since you have invisibility, why not give those boots a try? And you may not be able to follow me per se. I guess maybe this invisibility wasn't the best choice."
That's totally alright. If you are sticking to the roofs, then I will stick to the ground. Might also get as many angles as we can on our scouting mission. There might be things that I can see, like alleyways, that you may miss, and vice versa.
That is fair.
But I'm gonna, before we split off into our separate ways, I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on us.
Okay.
Just in case.
When you cast a spell, you lose invisibility.
Oh,
You should have done it before you did the invisibility.
I forgot about that. Never mind. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. I'll allow you to pull that one back. Just because it would have been really shitty if you would know better.
Yeah.
We've done this enough.
Yeah. Never mind then. We'll just continue as is.
It also only would affect you because once he's out of your range, it wouldn't affect him.
I guess that's true too,
So.
huh? You're right.
Mm-hmm. So, so he just, you hear from the air next to you, he just says, "So how about we just meet outside of the keep then?"
All right. Sounds good to me.
All right. And you hear the sound of like metal and scraping on stone next to you as it like elevates up the building, and then you hear steps on the cobblestone up or like the rooftops.
Damn, he's gotten cool as fuck.
Yeah. And then you just hear it kind of head off in that direction.
Not very stealthy if he's loud as fuck.
I mean, you hear it next to you. So, as you both take off, we will switch over to Nimue.
Tessa and I are going to head stealthily towards the docks.
Okay. I guess I do need to get stealth checks from... I'll grab them when we come back to... So, stealth checks from you and Tessa.
Disguised from the disguise kit earlier, by the way.
Okay.
But you're invisible,
We
so
are-
you get advantage.
I'm invisible, so I get advantage. But she's also got enhanced ability, so she also gets advantage because I did the dexterity enhanced
Right.
ability. Natural 20, so 22.
Natural 18. So, she would have a 20. Nice.
60.
So as you come outside of the tavern, she kind of just looks at you and goes, "Well, are you ready?"
Ready, let's go.
All right. And when you had last been in Pharsalis, Tessa was good. I mean, she's young, and her training had been going well with Edryd, but there is a nuanced practice to the way that she, like, almost instinctually just melds into the shadows with you. She almost feels like one of the seven who've been traveling with you. I guess not seven, but Taelented Seven.
The Taelented Seven.
Yeah. It's weird. It's not quite the sister that you remember. She seems to have matured and learned a bit since you had last seen her. But you two... So she's 16 now?
16, yes.
Yeah. You two basically just stick to the shadows and start heading for the docks. It doesn't take you a terribly long time from the Merc, as it's like up and around even before you'd reach Lover's Square, I believe. in that direction.
I can pull up the map.
Oh, I've got it. Yeah. So it doesn't take you too long. As you near, you can see there, like both of you end up in an alleyway crouched outside. There's very low light off in the distance. You can see movement on the docks. There does still seem to be people lifting and moving and bringing stuff to the ships that still seem to have harbor in the docks themselves.
Like the fishing vessels that don't go too far. out to
Fishing
sea.
vessels. There does appear to be a couple, like 2 merchant vessels that aren't huge, like galleon ships, but there are 2 larger ships than normal fishing vessels that the couple of the dock workers are. Not a couple of the dock workers. A lot of the movement on the docks are kind of going up and down the gangways, like bringing boxes on, taking boxes off, but there doesn't, like the ships, all of the sails are furled, like nothing seems to be in movement. This almost could appear to be busy work, but there is movement. There is stuff going off around the docks.
Okay, but it's not like anybody's preparing to like move out of docks or anything.
Doesn't appear that way.
Okay. All right. As we get closer to the docks, I'll lean over to Tessa and say, "Find Aaronsoft's scale and see what you can find out. And I'm going to go into the water and see if I can find anything out about those ships. We'll meet back at some location that I'll specify in like 30 minutes."
All right. Sounds good.
All right. And I'll go hop into the water stealthily, try not to make a big splash.
Before you, as you turn to go, you feel a hand pull on like your sleeve, and you turn around and Tessa just gives you like this really quick hug,
Aw.
and then takes off into the shadows
Oh, okay. I'll head
without saying anything.
towards the water.
It's not too far from where you're at. You kind of sidle up next to the edge of the docks that are there, and you can just hear the waves slowly like crashing against the docks. There doesn't appear to be a lot of movement in this area, so you pick a good spot and dive in. Immediately met with that cold northern sea as it meets your skin, and you have that moment where it feels like pinpricks across your skin, and then you start to acclimatize, and it starts to feel normal and almost freeing again, just like jumping into Lake Conra, as it's the second time in quite a while that you've taken
I
a
don't
dip.
get to swim a lot
Nope.
in this campaign.
But you manage to begin swimming out into the harbor. What is your goal here? Where are you going?
Can I see the big ships that are like blockading?
Make a perception check.
20, not natural.
A 20? It's not hard to see that it's very, very dim light here, even with your dark vision, but there are 2 like dark shapes that stand out off into the harbor itself a ways, probably like half a mile into the harbor, just blocking off any entrance, just positioned with both of their broadsides facing out towards anyone that would come in.
Okay. I'll go up to the one that's like, I don't know, just nearest to where I'm currently at and go try to get a look and see what the name on it is.
Okay, so you begin swimming that direction, and we'll switch back over to 7. Are you beelining it straight for the keep? Is there anything you're looking for along the way? What is it that you're...
Not necessarily beelining it there, but I want to try to get as close to it as soon as possible. But as soon as I start making... or as soon as I get close, I kind of want to take observation of, like, the townsfolk nearby, how they're acting, how they're moving around, and then, obviously when I get to the keep, I want to keep an eye on, like, the guards and what they're doing and stuff, so.
Okay, so as you begin to move through the murk and kind of towards the greater part of the town, make a perception check for me as you cross almost a threshold without there being a physical barrier, where the sort of more lower class rundown housing that you've been around in the murk gives way to cobbled streets and fancier homes, not necessarily like upscale, but a little bit more middle class area as you start to climb the incline of this hill leading up towards the Verdant Keep.
I got 16.
A 16. So as you reach this area, there are still people who are passing around the cobbled streets as it's still, while it's evening and the sun has set, it's still early enough evening that there does still seem to be some bustle around the town. There are people going as you pass. You pass another, what appears to be a tavern, that has a group of people exiting and kind of laughing. You can tell there's a bit of like drunk banter happening between them. In this area, there are guards that you notice, not heavy patrols, but there are multiple guard patrols that you see. Usually there are 2 guards per patrol that seem to be walking in tandem with each other. When you pass this tavern, one of those patrols almost saunters up to this group, and just like you noticed in the murk, begins like heckling them and kind of toying with them. And one of the gentlemen that is with this group like steps in as there's a couple women there and tries to get in the way of everything of them heckling, and they immediately throw him to the ground and start laughing and just walk away from this group. And you can see him kind of help the guy up. But you keep going, and the higher up you get, I say nicer the houses get. Nothing here is like richy, upscale, like crazy rich, but they definitely get more upscale the higher you climb on this hill. As you do, the more frequent the guard patrols get. About the neighborhoods just on the outskirts of the Verdant Keep up there seems to be patrols moving around of 4, like just a group of 4 that are just circling this area. Any of the townsfolk that you see up here, you really don't. Most people are avoidant. As any of them walking in that direction catch glimpse of a group of these guards walking down the streets and immediately turn and go the other way. But you continue up and make it to basically the outer perimeter of the Verdant Keep. And now being here, you can see the size of it. There's this circular, I believe it's 3 stories, 2 stories. I'm trying to remember now.
I think I have it in the fucking description.
But this multi-storied keep that
there's at least 2.
Yeah. You can see
least one floor.
a few windows lit up with flickering like candlelight or torchlight within, that encircles this spiraling cylindrical lighthouse that is dotted the whole way with those sea glass windows. No light at all coming from the lighthouse itself, but on the outside of the keep, you kind of pause and are looking for a moment and can see a couple guard patrols. And as you do, there's a right next to you, and you startle for a moment as you hear, "Well, it took you long enough."
Lorenzo know you were there. You're both invisible.
I decided to take my time, scope out the city. It's my first day here. I've never been here before.
You don't know him very well.
Apparently not. Sus.
Looking
eyes,
at the
sees the
guards
warmth.
by the lighthouse and stuff, is there anything off about them?
Off about the guards?
Mm-hmm.
Make an insight check.
I did not specify how many levels the keep has, so we'll call it like 3.
Okay.
25.
25? Wow. There's an odd, almost like robotic nature to these patrols. Like
Okay.
there are very constant patrols circling the perimeter of the keep itself. They pass like clockwork in this area. The guards almost march in tandem with each other. It's odd.
Okay.
This gives me like WandaVision vibes.
I always draw inspiration from the things that I'm consuming at the moment.
How close are the nearest guards to me? Or
You,
to us?
if you stay on like this barrier of
Mhm.
like the city streets to the keep itself, they're probably between like 80 and 100 feet away towards the walls. Most of them are patrolling around the walls of the, or like around the outside of the keep itself.
Mm.
So you'd have to move closer, and it's pretty open terrain. There's bushes and a couple of like larger rocks, nothing boulder size. I mean, you are invisible,
Okay.
but you'd have to move closer to be closer to these guards.
Yeah. Lorenzo, how close did you get to the keep?
This is about as close as I've gotten since I arrived. I haven't, given what Edryd said, I haven't dared to go any closer.
Understandable. You are you pretty well versed in magics?
Not necessarily. At all, really.
Well, I'm not so very well versed either. I was just hoping one of us would be able to see if there were any barriers or any things of the sort that would possibly warn them of our intrusion. Because I would love to get closer, but I don't know if we need to necessarily risk it when there's just two of us.
Well, I did drink a potion before we went off on this venture.
Oh?
But from what I was told, it really only allows me to see things that are invisible or like magical auras that do come up, like if we were being stried upon or something of the sort, which He pauses for a second and goes, don't currently see around us.
Okay, so far you can see it is safe.
From what I can
Ish.
see, I'm not sure if it can pick out traps or things of that nature.
I just would like to get a closer look at the guards, but I don't know whether we can get any closer or if we can happen to get them closer to us.
Well, if you're looking for a distraction, that is my speciality.
Oh, well, yes. If you can happen to distract at least one of the guards to get away from his group, we don't need to necessarily capture him or anything. I just want to see his reactions, his movement, his eyes.
All right, I think I can arrange that. You hear him just briefly next to you, like the footsteps move a little further forward. That was a natural 20. I was like, do I even need to look? Okay. So you wait for a moment, and you hear this ping, and like a rock strikes the guard's helmet as he's walking. And one of them, he doesn't make a noise necessarily. There's like a, and both of the pair turn in tandem and start walking in your direction. And you hear the footsteps approach once more and go, well, it looks like that worked. Whatever you're going to do. And we're going to switch back to Nimue.
So wait, I just wanted to clarify.
Yep.
Just because you said the guards were like walking around in fours.
Mm-hmm.
So only
two
a
of
pair.
them, two of them
can-
break off
Oh, okay.
and start walking towards you.
I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. So Nimue, you start swimming towards one of these dark shapes out onto the water. The closest one to you reach, and it's dark. So make a perception check. Since you have dark vision, I won't give you disadvantage on it. But I mean, the names on these ships are high up. It's dark, and you're in the water down below. So
Yeah, but I'm getting pretty close up too, though.
Mhm.
But as close as seems safe. 12.
12. It's really hard to see at the angle. Like, you try swimming around a little bit to get a better angle, and it's hard. Like, going further out, it's too dark to make out. You can see where the words are, but you can't quite get any of the letters. And the closer you get, the angle just gets worse and worse to where you can't.
Do either of these ships seem similar at all to the Grand Mar?
I mean, a lot of ship builds are similar. It's hard to
Yeah, but like the number
Especially
of
in the dark.
masts, the color of the sails, the flag that they're flying.
Within that perception check, it's hard to even get all those details in this light.
Makes me so mad. Okay, I'll swim over to the other ship
Okay.
and see if I can get anything from that one.
Okay.
That one's maybe.
So you swim
Easier.
over that way. Give me another perception check as you get near this dark shape that's just slowly, like slightly bobbing in the calm waters of the shore.
17.
A 17, that's better. This one, you can see there's like a very faint illumination almost reflecting off of the waves next to it from the light on the docks. And you can just like briefly as the light reflects and barely glazes over where the letters are, you make out the name Gambit.
Can I see like the flag that they're flying, the color of the sails, how many
There's
cannons they have?
no flag. All of the cannon doors are shut, but this does appear, you can see that there are like doors on the side of the ship, which makes this a larger class, like almost not a warship, but something that would be very similar to the make of the Grand Mar in the sense like a pirate vessel. This isn't a warship built by any one, continent or anything, but it does appear to be a ship built for a purpose and armed.
Have I ever heard of the Gambit?
Make a history check.
Other ships are probably named Crucible.
18.
In 18.
I don't understand the reference.
Destiny.
Yeah, that's fair. No, it's not named Crucible. That would have been good, though. I wish I would have picked that.
Fine, it's Iron Banana.
It's Iron Banana. Whoa, how did he get there?
I just love the vibe.
It's the name itself, even with an 18, it's not a ship that you've
Never
specifically heard of.
Not out of like when we were like in Port Greymount or something like that like Salem had like dealings with or something. Nothing like that.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Next thing, I will try to track the like members of the ship and see if they're like walking around. If they seem to be doing that same sort of like, well, I guess I wouldn't know this, but like the robotic thing that the other guards were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're charmed or something.
We'll keep your perception check that you rolled. From what you can see and hear of the bustle on the ship, there's nothing organized about it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like many of the pirate vessels that you've heard of. I mean, these aren't like... There's a lot of the pirate crews are like skilled crews, but they don't adhere to a lot of the order and mechanics and like even mechanicalness of like a military vessel or like a vessel captained by somebody who is very strict with their crew.
Mm-hmm. Can I see like who's at the helm on either of the ships, or is my perception check
No,
just
it's
too fucking shitty?
you being that far down below, you'd have to like get onto the
this
ship.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Let's see. What do I have right now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Should have been prepared for this. I don't have anything good for trying to sink one of these bitches right now, so I won't.
Sink one.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go back to shore then.
Okay. So you start swimming back. 7, these guards are approaching your position. They don't seem entirely aware of exactly where you are, but are heading towards where it is.
How
they
fast are
assume.
they heading towards this direction?
They're just like, they're not running, but they're
okay.
like, moving
Okay.
like a, is someone there?
Yeah. How close do you think they need to be so that I can actually get a detailed look at their face?
Right up against you.
So you can see the whites of their eyes.
That's really close. Lorenzo, how quickly can you move?
Quite quickly, my friend.
All right. If you can move over to the other side. So basically, like, if the guards were like going this way, and then two of them veered off, then to go the opposite way of the guard, wherever the guards are, the ones to keep patrolling. Basically, if you can go that direction and possibly throw another stone at these guards or make a noise over there, so that I can see them close up, but they won't necessarily keep going this direction. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it seems quite foolhardy, but I trust you, so...
Basically, I just want to get a close enough look, but I don't want to risk anything more than that, so you can distract them so that they'll change direction, and we can make our way back. Because right now, we don't need to risk anything more than this.
All right, can do. And again, you hear the slight footsteps go off in that direction. The guards continue to move in your direction. 12. As they're walking in your direction, there's a stone that flies and just misses the guard and like hits the ground near where you are, and you see a stone just and like scatter across the ground. And the guards look over that way and stop, and both heads in tandem kind of turn behind and pause for a second. Okay, and then another stone hits one of them in the helmet, and they turn and start to walk back towards where they had come from.
Okay. In that case, I guess I'll wait until Lorenzo comes back to me, which I'm assuming he's doing, because he's probably not going to stay there. And then once he does, we can make our way back.
Okay.
So
you weren't going to go look at their...
Oh, I thought that's what they were moving in close enough for me to do.
Oh.
So I'm sorry if that didn't make any sense. Like, basically what I wanted them to do was, like, so say if I were, like, here and they were walking here, I wanted to be able to see their face as close as I could, but then without them getting close enough to, like, notice me. That's when I wanted Lorenzo to basically, like, hit them with a stone so that they would be distracted and move away from my position while I could still focus on them.
Okay. So, as they get nearer to you, make a perception check.
17.
A 17. So they get near enough that you can see their face and their eyes. And you, I'm assuming, are looking for something specifically.
Yeah, I want to see if there's any smoke coming from their eyes, obviously, whether it's red or black. But if not, because I know that, it's a process. I want to know if, like, they even look 100% human still, kind of thing.
There's no visible smoke pouring from their eyes, but something seems very off. As they approach, they're very straight-faced. But nothing like visibly pouring from their eyes.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Okay. So then the rocks come and they turn and start to walk back in that direction. A moment later, you hear Lorenzo, and he just goes, "Okay, well, so that was that. Did you get what you needed?"
Yes, I think I've gotten enough information out of this mission that I think we should safely head back. Not risk any further than this, and basically report back to our allies. I have some things I need to say.
All right. Sounds wonderful. And you both turn and begin to head back. And that's where we're going to take our break for the evening. So we will be right back. Everybody tuning in. Stick around, and we will see you soon.
Woohoo! Connect ya.
All right, and we are back. So, we left off with the party split.
Oh, God.
Just kidding.
Don't
So-
split the party.
Seven and Lorenzo, you both start making your way back to the tavern within the murk of Pharsalis. Nimue, you swim back to shore where you had entered to go check on the ships. What do you do?
I go to the specified meeting point that Tessa and I agreed upon,
Okay.
and I'll go and wait for her there.
Okay. So you arrive there, and she's not there currently.
Okay. I'll wait, like 10 minutes or so, and if she's not there by then, I'll go looking for her. But I want to be conscientious of how much time I have left on the invisibility.
Okay. Because it's an hour, right? It was just normal invisibility.
Yeah.
I guess greater is even less than that, so I don't know what I'm saying. All right, so you did that. You swim out there. It's getting real close.
Okay.
You sit there. Waiting 10 minutes for her is probably going to
Use
dispel
up the rest of it.
Yep.
Okay. That's all right. What about, and my enhanced ability was with the same amount of time as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait for her until the invisibility is like about to run out, and then I'll try to duck into an alleyway so that way I don't just like reapparate in front of everybody.
Okay. So
Do I see any like scuffle or movement or something like that? Anything that might have happened?
Make a perception check. Or you're looking for like, not for people per se, but like evidence of stuff.
No, I'm looking at like the docks and stuff like that. I'm like looking at like
Yeah.
the people to see if
Perception
there's been
check.
like a
16. So you look, nothing appears to be out of the ordinary, but you wait 10 minutes and Tessa doesn't show. And kind of start getting anxious and looking around.
Send her a message.
Okay.
Tessa, where are you? You're not at the meeting place. What happened? That's all I'll say.
Okay. As soon as your message completes, words come back to you mid-sentence of her talking, and she just says, "Are they looking for him? I don't know where he is. I'm not sure why it is that they're looking for him, but I can't tell them where he is." And that's all that you hear as the message cuts out.
Okay. Sorry, I'm writing it down.
Yep.
Okay. I'll send her another message. Fuck. Where are you? Get to the meeting spot. We have to go back to the tavern so we're not caught.
Again, it seems to come mid-sentence, and she says, sorry, one second. No. Nope, I need... I forgot his name already. There we go. It comes in and you just hear her say, "Aaron, I'm not sure if they've gotten to you now too, but you must let me go. Please. We were friends before this." And there's just a pause. And then you hear her say, "Thank you." And
Okay.
the message doesn't end, but there's like a long pause. And she says, "I'm heading back to you now."
I'll wait for her at the meeting spot then. I'm
'Kay.
still in that disguise from earlier as well, by the way.
Mhm. Eventually, about 5 minutes later, you see her approach you. And she just says, Well, I found Erin.
Are you charmed? I heard parts of your conversation. Are you charmed by her?
I don't know if I'd be able to tell you that if I was. She just looks at you with this, like, stern but concerned look. Just says, after Edryd.
They're after Edryd.
Yes.
They're not after me.
Well, I'm sure that you're part of whatever is going on, but he kept frantically asking me where Edryd was and telling me to turn him over and this would all end more quickly. He didn't seem himself. I don't think that he was himself.
But he didn't try to turn you in. Is he hoping that
He
you'll go back
seemed
and
like
turn him
he
in?
wanted me to. He wanted to, but he didn't.
Do I know anything about Edryd that would indicate why they would want him?
Make an intelligence check.
Because I know he was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck! 5.
Given the stress of the situation and just your heart pounding from Tessa being missing at the time, nothing crosses your mind currently.
Are you being followed? Are we going to be followed back to the tavern?
I'm not sure. I don't know. She starts looking around frantically around her. I don't see anyone now. It didn't seem like anyone followed me from the docks.
Can I insight check her?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, I'm rolling so shit. 14.
Bag of shame. Bag of shame.
I've only got 2 sets of dice, okay, that I bring with me every
Oh,
week.
okay.
I don't bring other dice because they're not as pretty.
As far as you can tell, she seems just genuinely, like, panicked at the situation. It's
Okay.
hard to tell if there's anything more than that.
I'm gonna try to cast Dispel Magic on her at 4th level.
Okay. So you kind of reach towards her and you feel the warmth glowing in your hand, and she takes a step back and grabs, like, the hilt of her blade and just says, "What are you doing?"
I'm trying to dispel in case you've been charmed.
She eases a little bit and, like, comes towards you, but you can see that she still, like, has her hand toward the hilt of her sword.
Mm-hmm. Choose one creature, object, or magical effect in range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends.
Okay. You feel the magic build and then your hand and then pass into Tessa, and she gives, like, a shudder and just says, "So
Do you feel any
anything?"
different?
It felt warm for a moment.
Alright, then I think you're safe. Let's go back to the tavern quickly.
All right. You guys make your way back to the Blushing Fox.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for anybody following us.
Make a perception check.
Since I'm not invisible anymore, I'm gonna cast guidance on myself. $23.
Okay. You don't notice anybody as you're heading back that appears to be following you.
Okay.
Okay. So, 7, you and Lorenzo make it back quicker than these two do. So Nyx and Tail, there's a moment where the hidden door opens up and you see, well, yeah, your invisibility would be done by then. You see these two, Lorenzo and 7, their bodies moving through that hatch and coming down the stairs. And then probably about 20 minutes after those two, Nimue and Tessa come through.
Hello. So what information do you bring?
7, Lorenzo, do you want to go first? Did you find anything?
Yes and no. Mine isn't really important, but I'm probably going to have to go into detail about the history of my sisters here eventually to everyone, so you might as well go first.
Okay. So, on inspection of the ship, on one of them, the smaller one, I couldn't quite make out the name or really any details of the ship. It's too dark. But the other ship, its name is the Gambit. Has anybody heard of that ship?
Has
Have any of
anyone
us heard of
heard
that
of
ship?
it?
Make history checks.
Ooh. -1.
No, +3.
Oh,
18.
nice.
Oh, damn, mine's
Oh, we're
minus
both
one.
proficient in history.
Mhm.
I also have an 18, but I rolled a 19.
We're also dumb.
10.
You're the one with the high intelligence.
I'm rolling at disadvantage.
Mhm.
Oh shit! That's
Oh, yeah,
easy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a moment where everyone kind of pauses and then like looks at each other, and like Edryd and Lorenzo both shake their heads.
Tessa, you've never heard of it?
I've never heard the name myself, but I don't really know as much as a lot of you. I haven't really been keeping up on my histories. That hasn't really been an interest of mine for some time.
So that's one of the ships. They both appear to be more pirate ships, pretty chaotic crews, that sort of thing.
Oh. If only Dawit were here, maybe he would have known.
What?
Oh, if Dawit were here, maybe he knows something about pirate
Oh,
ships.
Possibly. I could not understand what the fuck you said with your accent.
I don't understand the fuck you saying with your accent. Your accent confuses me sometimes. So,
Edryd just says, well, I don't know anything of the ship name itself, but what would they want with pirates? Why would they bring pirates here?
That's a good question. We never like was Zalen associated with like pirates or anything like that when we went to like Port Greymount. Like nothing to that effect.
No. At the time, Zalen was a bit more not righteous in the sense that it was an attempt at doing good. It wasn't really.
Mhm.
I could ask Alar.
That would be. I think that would go well. Yeah.
All right. I'll use the sending stone.
'Kay.
Hey, Alar. We're in Pharsalus.
Sailor always know things.
What's that?
Nothing, go ahead.
We're in Pharsalus. Things are bad here. The city has been taken. Have you ever heard of a ship named the Gambit? If so, tell me about it.
And his voice comes through moments later and says, I'd have to think for a moment. The Gambit, it sounds familiar. Yes, I believe that it sailed at one time under the banner of Captain Scarlet. What the fuck is Captain Scarlet?
We heard that name. That was the captain
Yes.
of the Grandmar.
So it is related.
Didn't expect him to roll a natural 20. But here we are. You always get information from the weirdest sources, like when Zenny knew
Barty's Tower.
Barty's Tower.
We're just like, hey, have you heard anything about this? And you're just like, well, maybe.
Yes,
Yes.
I know everything about it.
Yes.
Yes, my man.
Well, thank the gods that they roll well because we roll like fucking shit.
Fair. And the message finishes, just, hope I could be of some help. Stay safe.
I'll relay that.
The Grandma, that's the ship that attacked Deadcat.
and that's the ship that brought that crazy artifact thingy or us chasing them.
So maybe
Well, thankfully, there's no temples of Varuna here.
yeah,
Is
but
there
if
another artifact here in Parsalas?
Not to my knowledge.
but maybe
Fossils
that's a
was-
connection, because if the Grandmar is chasing these artifacts, maybe they came here for that reason.
Plus, wasn't it the number 4 and Phaetra who poisoned Idris at the same time that the artifact was brought to Dead
Yeah.
Can?
And now your sisters
Probably.
are here, and Captain Scarlet is as well.
Well, we don't know if it's
maybe
Captain
not
Scarlet,
Captain Scarlet, but
it
part of
sailed
our
under
crew.
Captain Scarlet is what he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that they necessarily do still.
were the pirates charmed?
They did not appear to be. They seemed like any other normal pirate crew, I suppose.
What was that person's name that you were looking for near docks? Were they charmed?
Well, Tessa would have more information about that. Tessa?
Tessa?
Well, I spoke with him, but he didn't quite seem himself. He kept asking me where to find you, and she turns to Edryd, and he has like a genuine moment of confusion on his face and just says, "Me? Why would they be looking for me? I thought that this was all about what was going on with you all. There was, if they'd wanted me, they've had plenty of opportunity to, I guess maybe not. I've been
You've
hidden
been
for some
hiding.
time.
Why would they be
Who are
looking
you?
for you, Edryd?
I don't know.
Do you remember anything of your life before you were adopted?
Not really.
Because I think I wrote he was 6 when he came to Pharsalus.
Mm-hmm. I can't say I know for sure, honestly. I don't know. I was so young, I don't remember much back then.
Hey, Edryd, do you have any tattoos or numbers on you?
I don't have any tattoos or numbers on me, no.
Do you know you don't remember where you came from?
Do I
was
remember
young.
anything about, like, the ship that he came on when he came to Pharsalus?
You would have been young too, so I mean,
Oh, yeah, he's 3 years
What
older
race
than
is
I
he?
am.
he looks human.
What? How old is he?
He's 3 years older than I, so he's 26. Oh, I need to edit that. Why would they be looking for you? I just don't understand.
I couldn't say. I mean, I guess I always hoped I would be the center of the universe.
Do you get visions from gods or anything?
Why do you ask that?
Well, that kind of happens to some of us sometimes.
And the thing that they might be looking for is linked to 3 certain gods. And if you are receiving visions from gods, maybe you're part of something bigger too. So is
I'm-
that a yes?
I mean, I have strange dreams sometimes.
What appears in your dreams?
They're kind of jumbled, but I feel this presence, this greater presence I've just always attributed to Valkyr, the Lord of the Seas, but I don't know for sure. This does happen on occasions, especially during storms. I don't know if that helps.
What are the 3 gods that made the artifact that we're currently in possession of?
It was Varuna, Pelor, and Tritherion.
Right, okay.
Any of those gods, I mean, assuming not Bruna, have anything to do with the sea as well?
Not that you know of.
No, mainly here we worship Valkyr, the god of the oceans.
Anything that you said that storms trigger those dreams?
Yes.
That's weird.
What did the dreams tell you?
I don't get words necessarily, just this sense of something greater. Just feels like a belonging to something more, something greater. Almost as if being a missing piece to a whole.
I'm gonna sit down, start casting Commune.
I like fun spells. Hold on.
I will ritually cast it.
Okay. So, there's a couple looks of confusion from the motley crew in this basement ramshackle headquarters as Nimue just kind of plops herself down and starts setting up this ritual space on the ground before her. But you begin casting, and as the ritual completes, you feel yourself momentarily pulled from the reality of this under tavern basement and pulled back into that almost calming womb of water enveloping you.
Are Seven Sisters looking for Edryd?
There's oddly, it's kind of mixed, as the water around you like goes to that kind of uncertain temperature, but there's some semblance of confirmation,
Okay.
but almost as if there's
More to
more.
it. Okay. Is Tessa working for the enemy?
the water grows cold around you.
Last question. Are the people on the ships guarding Farslis under the control of Seven Sisters? Mind controlled by Seven Sister?
The water remains cold.
No. Okay. So they're of their own volition.
And you're pulled out of this comforting surrounding waters and brought back to the tavern basement floor. You sit.
All right, so Verona says, yes, they're looking for Edryd, but that's not really all. And she also said that the people on the ships are here of their own volition. They're not being controlled by your sister.
Hey, Edryd,
Yes.
in your dreams, can you make out any words or things?
Never words, just feelings and images of just comfort. It's hard to explain. They're all very jumbled. It's been happening since I was little, though.
What do I know about Palor?
Make a religion check.
8.
8. You don't really know anything about Palor other than what's been explained and brought up by Kaia.
Anyway,
Yes?
do you when Valad was explaining artifact things, do we remember if there is any artifact dealing with water or dealing with person specifically? Maybe it is secret artifact.
But he was only born 26 years ago.
Or maybe, well, he can't remember anything before.
Well, that's just the fog of childhood.
Was it that? I thought he was saying it's all memory. He has zero memory before.
Well, you don't have any memory of anything before you came to Farslis.
No, not really.
That's weird.
See? You know, at least when I child, I remember some things, but not zero memory.
I remember things from before I was 6 years old.
Yeah. See, that's what I saying. Can I want to ritually cast Detect Magic
Sure.
And see if I get anything from him.
You spend a moment and ritually cast Detect Magic, and a few moments later, the ritual completes, and you can feel your senses heightened and reach out. There's nothing magical, no auras emanating from him. Plenty around you with your companions, magic items and things of that nature, but nothing from Edryd.
And I don't know if we're going to solve the mystery as to why they want you tonight. We don't really have enough information to go off of.
I don't know. I was just thinking if he's receiving strange dreams or something and he has to do with the gods, he's probably on side of Baylor, you know? Cause using deduction.
But Pelor's things isn't really the storms. He's all about sunshine.
That's why he say he feel warm sometime. But I just saying, you know, so the three gods is already Criterion, and that has to do with a lot of crew. Then they have Varona, and that has to do with you, and now kinda me. And then last one is Baylor, that we have no person that we associate with him.
Well, Kaia was a follower of Pelor.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
But also, I don't know if they're necessarily looking for things associated with those gods. We have no idea what their motives are, essentially, because the Grand Amar was looking for that artifact that they pulled out of the place near where DeWitt grew up that I can't remember. The Taelented Enclave.
Yeah.
So they pulled that out of there, and they were transporting it to Dead Ken. That's when we saw the Grand Amar attacking them. Now they're here, but we know of no such artifact here. But
maybe they're promised it.
I don't know.
Well,
I was just thinking that they might need like champions from each god or something to help activate artifacts.
well, if that was the case,
And that
they wouldn't have killed me. They would have taken me back.
that
in the
was
day.
other person. That was you know who that.
But Callista, doesn't she work with or around?
But we aren't sure of that. We have never got solid evidence of that. We only got suspicions of it. And you know,
Wait, did you tell me that Verna talked to you only after you died?
That is correct. Yes.
I couldn't remember if that was something you told the group or...
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's common
Then
knowledge.
it's like,
and if she did, she didn't know you had anything to do with Aruna, cause you don't get that connection until after that.
Well then, but they don't. Well, how do I try to say? They had Kaia, but they.
But they somehow lost her, you know?
Do we remember how Kaia got away from Mother and them?
I believe she said it. I'm just trying to decide if I should have you roll for it or if it's...
In our notes somewhere.
I just don't remember if she gave... I think she gave that specific information because that question was a point of contention of like, well, how... Yeah. You don't have to dig for it. She didn't know exactly. Her cell was open one day where she was being held, and she just ran.
Oh, yes.
So somebody let her out.
But who?
So there's a spy amongst the people with your mother.
Wait, how long ago was it that Kaia got free?
I think she said like 2 years.
2 years? Savon, do you know who might have let Kaia free?
I have no idea who would be a traitor on my mother's side. I mean,
Besides you.
look at what they did to me, yes, for going against her wishes. I doubt very many others under their control would be willing to do the same if
Well,
they're willing to do what they did to me.
Phaedra isn't totally under the...
I have no idea whether that is true or not. She could be 100% just like one of my sisters, or she could not be.
Or should be playing along.
She could be. Though, I would find it very hard to deceive my mother. She's very, very wise. In the most unfortunate ways.
No,
Age-
I don't know if Alar ever, or if I ever told you this, but Alar told me that Phaedra was very skilled in magic. More so than normal. So I don't know if that came first or if it's because she was dealing with your family.
Well, that might have been why she gained Mother's interest.
Could be. Well, it's all speculation at this point.
And none of it helps us to figure out why they want Edryd.
He kind of joins in at this point. Says, "You said you knew someone, a friend of yours, who was taken by them. What did they want from her? Maybe that is a reason that they would want me. I
Well,
don't."
Kaia had angel blood. Right? And that's why they wanted
Yeah.
her?
Yes. But something about Kaia was special. Remember? They tried to turn her into one,
But
and
something
it
stopped.
didn't work.
Maybe those with the blood of the angels can't be turned into those monsters.
I have no idea, to
Do
be
you
honest
have
with
a
you.
job
It's
as,
a good...
as a note, she never said that they tried to turn her into one. She said she was being experimented on.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They were experimenting on her.
Because I actually just listened to that episode today.
Oh, well, that's
You
good.
asked if they were trying to turn her into one, and
Yeah, I
she was
did
very
ask.
clear that, like, no, that wasn't what she got, what was happening.
Yeah. I remember
Oh,
asking.
Okay.
I just remember it not working. So... But yes.
But that's what turned her hair white.
Yes. So something about Kaia makes an experimentation of theirs go awry. What they're experimenting on and what they're hoping for and what went wrong, I have absolutely no clue.
I'm
And then
gonna
she got away.
Use my divine sense
Mm-hmm.
really quick. So I know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me that is not behind total cover.
Okay.
And I know the type as well, but not its identity.
Oh, shit.
You know the type. Oh, meaning if it's
there's
celestial fiend.
Yeah.
So you, like, that thought dawns on you, and you almost feel like this bit of guidance from the back of your mind, and your eyes close as if a hand is closing them, and you feel your senses reach out. That warmth builds in your chest, and again your sense heightens and grows, but instead of arcane and learned like natural magics, it's that divine energy build within you that surges outwards, and coming from Edryd, you get a faint celestial energy.
Okay. Edryd,
Yes.
I think the reason why they want you, same reason why they experimented on our companion Kaia. I'm detecting some bits of celestial blood from you.
That's not possible. It's like an alarm going off in my head. There's no way. I mean, I'm just a guy. I grew up here for most of my life. There's no way that I would have that. That doesn't make sense.
You don't have the memory, but my eyes are not lying to me.
And you don't know who your birth parents are either.
No.
Can you imagine like yourself growing wings or something, like angelic wings, like try to focus on a powered or the
Because Kaia
feeling?
could do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, try to focus on that warm feeling you have and try to summon divine wings.
I'll cast guidance on him.
All right. He awkwardly looks around, and you can see some of the like thugs in the room turn and give that like cocky look of like, yeah, do
Grow
it, Angel
wings.
Boy.
Yeah.
And he just closes his eyes.
I'm gonna cast
There's a
heroism
pause
on him
for a
because it
moment.
feels fitting.
Okay. What's heroism do again?
It doesn't do anything related to what we're trying to do, but
So you can see him
makes
kind of
him
like.
immune to being frightened, and he gets temporary hit points.
Okay, so you see him straighten up with like a bit more confidence
You know-
as this spell completes, and he. Go, wings. He opens an eye and turns, goes, did anything happen?
No, you gotta. It's more of an innate thing. Just feel it.
So
Just
try to-
concentrate.
I think if he could do it, he would know.
What?
I don't
You know,
know.
here I'm going to. So you know, you're trying to get a feeling of like a divine self or something like that. Then let me try to help you. I'm going to just make tiny cut on your hand and heal it with divine power, so you feel it. Does that make sense?
I also cast guidance on him, so we already felt the divine power.
Or
But
are you doing it more? Okay.
Sure.
So I'm going to give him a tiny cut.
He reaches out his hand.
Then you lay on hands and be like, try to focus on
Okay.
divine energy going through your body and try to remember those dreams. You know, think of it being stormy day, and you feel this warmth amongst the storm that's happening, and you can feel yourself radiate some energy or grow some wings to help you fly and fight your enemies.
Okay.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about how to grow wings, also known as my tail talk.
I'd listen to Tail Talk.
Oh, no, you don't want to.
Nah.
Oops, that's not what I wanted. So, you cut his hand, and he holds his hand out to you, and you feel the warmth grow from your hand and spread into his, and his hand shudders a little bit as he's holding yours, and you lift your hand up and watch the wound just seal and close, and he looks at it thoughtfully for a moment and goes, well, I'm not sure if I can. Light bursts from his eyes like in beams, and as he throws his head back, and these two glowing white wings sprout from his back, and he shudders for a moment and then stops and turns to you and goes, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, you did what I said you could do.
He starts like spinning around to like look at the wings, like
Does he hit me with his wings?
yes, as he does, the wings like batter you into the face, and he just goes, what did you do to me? This isn't normal.
This is
What
part of
is
your-
happening?
That's
Part
part of
of
your
your-
blood.
No, this isn't. Nope. And he turns and starts walking to the stairs that lead
You
upstairs.
can't leave
to the
here
tavern.
right
No,
now
they're
like
going
that.
to capture
They're
you. What?
following you. They're
Then
looking
I'm
for
gonna
you.
tackle him.
Yeah, make a grapple check.
Does grapple add athletics or
Yeah,
just strength?
athletics.
Oh, thank God. 21.
21. Okay. So you, as he's walking, you tackle him to the ground, and he tries to push you off, and you're just like, you just pin him to the ground, and he eventually stops struggling and just goes, all right, you can get off. Get off of me.
Okay. Just making sure you're nice and calm. Then as I get off of him, I pat his head.
He stands up and gives you a scowl and just walks over to a wall and leans against it and just goes, I'm going to need a minute.
Of course.
So we figured out something that
Yeah.
that your family is looking for. Your family is looking for people with angel blood.
Apparently. I
But that
wouldn't know why.
question is, how can they tell? How do they know?
That's a very good question. I wouldn't know. I can't do it myself. I had no idea Edryd would have angel blood. So they either have their ways of information gathering, or they have their ways of figuring out someone's blood from a
Especially if
glance.
Edryd himself didn't even know that he
How
had
old
angel
is
blood.
Kaia? How old is she?
Kyle was like, what?
She was like in her
20
20s.
Yeah,
like early
22
20s.
Early
or
20s,
something like
yeah.
that.
Oh, okay. Does she look at all similar to Edryd? without all the freaky stuff that she has going on.
No, Edryd's got black hair and green eyes
Alright,
and
just wanted
tan
to check.
skin.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't be more different from Kaia.
Well, we have to kind of figure out where your lineage comes from now, as they're probably looking for all sorts of people of your race.
Or maybe they're just looking
or
for
type.
one.
Or they could just be looking for one.
I can't help you with that. I don't know anything. Didn't know this was even.
Maybe.
Well,
Kaia
whether
will
you
know.
help us or not, you have to realize that these people are now after you.
And you are now a part of something bigger, or not just now. You always have been.
So you don't have to join us or help us or anything of the sort. That is still your choice, yes.
But of course, you take your time to try and understand and accept what is happening to you. No one forcing you to go accept your destiny or even say it even is your destiny. You make your own, you know. But, you know, you just have to be cautious along with all this new information that has come to you and make your decision from there.
And regardless of what decision you make, just remember, they are after you. So you can be in hiding all you'd like, but you will be in hiding for as long as this goes on.
Well, don't scare the poor man.
Perfect.
Well,
Wish to be center of the universe and get what you asked for. This is great.
oh, don't even.
So
they're
good.
not looking just for you. They're looking for something more.
Oh, well, I feel so much better about it.
No, don't worry, you are special. You are special, boy.
Alright, leave him alone for a second.
I'm just letting him know he's special.
I'm just trying to let him know the truth.
I'm going to send a message to Kana Silverbloom, his mother.
Okay.
This is Nimue. I'm with Edryd. Did you know he has angel blood? What ship did he come on when you adopted him?
There's a moment of pause. And then you hear a voice and it says, "By the gods, you are alive. Well, all matters of that aside, I have no idea about the information you are giving me now. He was brought in on a ship. He was left for abandoned, and you know me. I wouldn't leave a little one alone like that. I took him in. I'm sorry I can't..." Cuts off.
She has no idea.
Was there anyone else or anything else brought with that ship?
I don't remember, I was only 3 years old.
Do you have anything? Do you have any kind of keepsake, even if it's small or seemingly sentimental only, that...
Don't have anything from whatever came before this. My
What day?
mother took me in here, and I've had all of my memories here in this city. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't have a life before I came here.
Okay. What day? Do you know what day that was?
I can't say that I do.
There must be record of that somewhere.
It was 23 years ago.
Well, is there any
Or,
like...
yeah.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. It was 20 years ago.
Well, it doesn't seem like we're gonna get any more information out of Edryd. He's just in the dark as much as we are. So,
Well, he's,
Dark Master would know.
Dark. Oh, yeah.
He would have record
Yeah.
of the ships that come into port.
But
So-
he's been charmed as well.
He's been charmed. Oh,
I do have
yeah.
a truth serum. Still.
I can also take Stone of Truth.
I
Okay,
have Zone of
okay.
Well,
Truth.
if
Oh, great. I don't have to do prepare it at all.
something that I guess that will lead into my other point is that, we still have to make battle plan. And if we need something to do with the docks or with the Dark Master, maybe our plan starts over there with the ships.
So the two ships are
The
A part
Gambit
of-
and other ship.
Yes, and we have no idea if the other ship is the Grandma or not. Should we do something about them?
I think it would be wise.
I can attempt to sink them.
Assume you described
We
that they
should
were
take one.
battleships.
Yes.
Getting commandeer of one would be quite great in our favor.
We commandeer the bigger one.
The Gambit?
Yeah, that's the big one. You know, it's much easier for big one to sink small one. If we take small one, we just
Well-
get sunk.
Then we can draw them
Fun
out
fact,
of the keep.
My little control water spell, it's got a pretty decent chance of just capsizing it. A
Oh.
boat.
Okay.
Well, we could also go that route. Yes, we do have that.
Well,
now.
let's commandeer one and capsize other.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Well, we should try to capsize one of them first so we don't get shot
yeah.
at.
but we should do that from the ship after we've taken it. Because
Yes.
if we attack one ship without having control of the other, then we will have two ships attacking us.
Oh,
yes.
Because if your control water does not capsize that ship, it alerts the two ships already. But at least if we capture one ship, there's one ship that we take care of, then one more that we have chance of sinking.
So, how do we propose commandeering the other ship?
Good question.
I mean,
Does
I can
anyone-
get out there very easily.
Does anyone here know how to
Fly?
pirate a pirate ship?
Maybe, you
No.
know what we
I
could
mean,
do?
I have sailed before, so kind of.
What if we break the charm on the dockmaster?
That
Get him to help us.
costs me 100 gold worth of diamonds.
I'll give you 100 gold. I think it is worth it.
The only problem with that is
Easy.
that I can only do it once more after I do that.
And also, is that a guarantee that we can break that? Because you know, if Savon's sister is so powerful to keep that charm, and all of these people in here, is Nimue strong enough to break that?
The way that the spell works is that it will get rid of any charm on a creature. It's greater
Oh.
restoration. But it costs 100 gold pieces worth of diamond, and I've only got 200 gold worth of diamond dust.
I don't think it's necessary to use on him.
I
though
would rather
be
save it for
nice.
those of us, just in case
I'm
we got
just
Tom
saying
by
that-
her.
Oh yeah.
He could have some answers regarding Edryd, and he could help us in drawing people out of the city. It's just something to think about.
But right now, I don't know what much the Dockmaster can do by drawing people out if the rest of the people
He can
are
help
charmed.
us take a ship, because we don't know
Is
how to
he
do that.
Powerful? Is he strong?
Well,
he
he
knows how
would-
to run a ship.
Lorenzo said that he can. He has some sailing experience.
Small experience.
And we are
Very
not
small.
We are not just straight up sailing, we are just commandeering, so we have access to the weapons on it, so that they are not blocking our way.
We also are currently in a city of people who work on the docks and on boats for like a living. Like our main thing that we do here is like fishing.
Oh yeah,
Well, I was
there's
just
some.
throwing it out there. It's
there's
not
some
like we
people-
have
that's
to
a
do
good
it.
idea.
No, I think it is a good idea. I'm just saying I think that we have plenty of options for people to help us commandeer the ship.
Alright,
I'm
then
gonna
we
look
scrap
at
that.
the peasants in the crowd and see.
And ask, does anyone here know how to work a ship?
They all just look at each other. One guy's hand slowly goes up, another one grabs his hand and pulls it down. That's it.
Well, I
Well-
do think that the Wharf Master would be valuable. I'm just concerned about using the spell on him.
And also, it'd be nice to be able to keep at, because you know, if Zaylan's party is being charmed, if we somehow break it, then they can help us too. But that's only if they are being charmed. Also, of course, save it for if one of us gets charmed.
That's why I'm thinking save it, just in case one of us.
Seven, does your
Oh, yeah,
sister's
that's a
charm
good point.
only work if you hear that? Or is it like visual magic? Or is it just like, oh, just happens on anyone? Or do
She's
they...
just like, ooh, you're so sexy. And then you're like, I would do anything for you.
that you turn us into simps?
I mean,
I
so
cast
long
simp.
as you can hear her
It's
voice,
cringe.
yes.
I hate
What?
that phrase enough.
I said, so long as you can hear her voice,
Oh.
her spells do work.
But if we don't hear her voice,
Then no, yes, you wouldn't be able to fall under her spell.
So if we were all deafened,
Yes, but then you would be deafened.
that's fair.
And
Okay,
it's
That's
not the
probably
only thing she
better.
does.
let's all take a week to learn sign language. But we can communicate with simple hand signals if we confront her. I just think everyone should have something prepared just in case so that we can like plug our ears.
I do also have the silence spell.
Oh, that too.
First, let's come up with an idea for commandeering the ship.
Okay.
Yes, I believe our first objective would be to find someone who can captain the ship.
Yep.
What
That
exactly
was-
is the plan to do with the ship once we have it? Just out of curiosity.
I thought
Take out the other ship, and then we just spoke of drawing. We don't want to go to the keep. We want to draw them out of the keep.
The keep
This
is
is the way
well
to do it.
fortified.
and commandeering one of the ships and like turning on the lighthouse light that might attract their attention to bring them toward us.
I
Oh wait,
believe-
where's lighthouse? Is it on the dock or is it on the keep?
The
It's
light.
in the middle of the keep.
It's
So
a- oh,
the
okay.
keep is
That's a shitty
two
lighthouse.
circular two semicircle buildings that encircle the lighthouse.
Okay, never mind. Scrap the turn on lighthouse idea. I thought it was near the dock where lighthouses usually are.
Not necessarily.
You know, when I see lighthouse, I'm picturing Pokemon and the Dragonite coming to the lighthouse
my
that's
God.
there.
Okay, well that's because you're a fucking nerd.
From the back wall, you just hear Edryd say, "Why not just fake giving me up? Let them know where I am. If we're trying to draw them out of the city, what better way than to give them what they want, or at least feign that we are doing so? A lot less effort than stealing a ship."
But I just think that plays our hand too early.
And I think they
And stealing a ship doesn't?
well, I just think that, they smart enough to know that it obviously drop if you suddenly appear out of nowhere.
If we're just like, oh yes, we have Edryd, come get him.
Because
I mean, it could work.
It's not a terrible idea, but I think that we should have that more on reserve because we already kind of thought about doing that.
Well,
with
we
me.
don't say, "Hey, we're going to give him up." We plant a seed, and maybe we send Tessa back to the dockmaster to, tell him she found him, and send them where we want them to go.
but that
Like we
You
don't
know-
say, "Hey, come here, let's make a
That-
trade." That
yeah,
won't
but
work.
that that putting Tessa at risk, and that's only.
Well, it doesn't
if,
have to be Tessa.
they-
I'm just saying we plant a seed somehow so that the word gets back to them where he is. So if
I
he
just
won't be there,
concerned
we
that
will.
the seed that we plant just ends up getting charmed and turning to their side.
Well, I think that actually that's what is an excellent idea is sending Tessa back to Erin because she now has had that contact. And
Exactly,
if
so it's
Erin's reporting
believable.
back to them,
But he will be somewhere. Well, hopefully we can get him somewhere safe.
But if Aaron reports back to them, then they might have sent guards to go along with him. So if Tessa just appears close to him, they just capture her, charm her, then she charmed person lead them to here.
well, what we do is when we send Tessa, we move locations. We don't stay here. And we don't tell Tessa where we're going to be going. And if she is successful, we figure out a way that I can communicate to her to see if she was successful or not.
And Tessa just chimes in and just
That
says, that could work, but what if if Aaron was charmed by them, what if they already know that I'm involved? I know that no one followed us, but if they have the ability to charm others, then what's to say they don't have the ability to know where we've gone?
I don't know if they have that ability or not, but I think that what we have to keep in mind is that you've had that point of contact with Aaron where he's asked you to bring in Edryd.
Yes.
So now it would seem more weird if we were just like, oh, we have him. But you've now had that point of contact where you know that they want him, and if you are the one to say that you are willing to negotiate,
But
Yes.
why would they even
and
tell?
you have a point of negotiation, you want to see your family, you want to see our family
That's
freed.
what I'm saying, though. What negotiation does she have? She can't negotiate if she charmed. They just easily capture her if she goes close to Aaron, then charm her.
Well,
but they
we
had
have-
the opportunity to do that before, and it didn't I don't think that those under whatever influence this is can do the charming, or I wouldn't be here.
You might just be captured and brought to the person that does do charming.
That is a risk.
But that's why we have a failsafe of moving locations to where Tessa wouldn't know where we were, so they wouldn't be able to get the valuable
But then
information
where
out of
will
her.
we go from there? If we just move locations, we have to come up with a whole new plan. Because,
But
like
then we
I
have to
said,
come up
we
with a whole new
can't just
plan.
be like, oh, we have Edryd. Because that plan, just the other half of that plan is literally just sacrificing your sister for something that might not even happen.
That's true.
Because if we sacrifice her and that plan do not work, we have to make whole new plan again. But now we just don't remember.
I don't know if we have much ability to work without the possibility of sacrifices. We're
Oh, yeah,
not
I-
in the
Yep.
best spot here.
Sacrifices. That does not mean you can't be smart about what you do.
This is true, but I'm willing to do it if I think it's a solid plan. But I
Well, I
do
don't know if it's
agree that
solid.
we need more. We can't just improvise after the fact.
Yes, because
We'll have to have a failsafe for if you fail or if you succeed.
Right.
well, I mean, even if we have that failsafe, let's say, for example, we can think of all the scenarios that happen about just getting Edryd. However, what happens from there? We can't follow them to the keep without being noticed if they're taking Edryd there.
No, that's would have a meeting point of this is where we will negotiate.
But that's why our problem is. If we set up meeting point, we are so heavily outnumbered by the entire guards, and just our party alone was already having trouble of saying, going up against Zaylan and the sisters because they are super powerful. But now we go to meeting place. What we have some extra fighters like Edryd and Lorenzo, and the other people are just common folk, or else they have the city guard now on their side to ambush us at meeting point.
I just don't see any way that we can possibly lure them out so that way it's just them. They're always going to have the guard around. Unless we
I
can
know.
somehow dispel the magic that Seven's sister is doing. And the only way I can foresee to do that is to kill her. But we can't get close enough to kill her.
Saying that, if we set up meeting point, they have so much more time to be able to react to our plan. But if we do something else that forces them to react to that, such not saying that we go to the ship thing like directly or whatever, but just something that forces them to like make quick plan, because they have to do something quickly. They don't have much time to gather everybody and get their thing together.
Well, no matter what we're doing, literally no matter what the plan is, we have to take into account that the guard is under her control and going to be fighting against us, and that they're going to take some of the guard with them.
I know, but I'm just saying harder to mobilize the guards when there's only like couple hours to react, because we have like either taken something or we've like cleared something out, rather than meeting plan where they have all that time to be able to meet.
We're just talking in circles at this point.
Yes, we need to come up with a concrete objective, which I believe the objective is ultimately whether we want to try to take control of the city again or escape. But those are virtually our only two options.
The goal is to drive them out of the city. We can't just leave them.
All right, then if
we
our
can't just leave them here to hold my family hostage for the rest of time.
Oh, I know. I was just merely mentioning that those are our two options. If the option we're going for, of course we are, is to drive them out of the city,
Or kill them.
then we need to do everything we can
What about this?
in that essence.
We're speculating, of course, that
Yes.
Zaylin is under your sister's control. Maybe we just get to him and break that.
That's
Because-
a lot riding on just because.
Well, I mean, every single plan all of us have spit forth so far is based on speculation.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
far.
no matter what, we're kind of going in blind unless we can get more information. No,
Yeah.
like we need more information, or we just need to pick one.
Is it even possible to be able to sneak inside keep?
Well, I mean, I know all the seven doors, and I don't know how much Zaylen's done of exploring the keep, but
I
some of
know
them
we
are pretty
keep saying
obscure.
that we try to lure them out the keep, but at least in keep.
Zaylen would come out for you, wouldn't he?
Well, that's if he's not under her charm.
At least if we are in the keep, we can make sure that your family is safe directly, like ourselves, and then we can also like fight only the ones that are in the keep and not all the ones patrolling the entire city.
He has a point
that-
there. I was going to say that seems to be where the least concentration, theoretically, of guards would
Yeah.
be, is right inside the keep.
My only concern is that if we break, like Zaylen's charm, for example, your sisters will take it out on hostages.
Oh, that's what I saying. That if we are in keep, at least we can. I am more confident in being directly responsible for the safety of your family if I am near them. But if we, try to negotiate or do something outside the keep, then they can easily hold your family more as hostage, like more dangerously. But we aren't near them.
So if Zaylen is being charmed by your sister, and we try to break that charm, we might be able to convince him to ally himself with our interests in retaliation for him being charmed.
Or should we do it on Kaitana or Galas? Because, Zylan still has personality problem, even without a charm. But those two weren't as bad.
Well, I could try to convince him, first of all. But second of all, there might be a possibility that Kaithana and Gallus don't even need to be charmed by Seven Sister because they follow Zaylen so blindly. But if Zaylen's charmed, they might just be following him.
That's fair. Well, of course, that would be on you to be able to convince him.
Why don't you? Could we ask them? Like, does Zaylen seem like himself?
I could just send them a message.
That could be enough confirmation.
But that could also just hint them towards our plan.
You don't have to mention the plan. You could just say.
There seems to be more going on here. Is Zaylen himself?
Yeah, you can just merely strike up a conversation, just to see if he seems himself. However, once you do that, I will give out some more details about my sisters that might be helpful to our plan.
Anything that you can tell us about them would be helpful.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah,
I'll send the
of course.
message first.
Yes, go ahead, send the message.
All right, I'll send a message to Gallus because I think that he was the friendlier of the two. Hello again. I'm sure you know who it is. I'm concerned for Zaylen. Is he being controlled by that witch? The way that she controls everybody else in the city? I long to know that he's of his right state of mind. That's it.
Okay. So the voice comes back to you. It just says, "Oh, hey, yeah." I mean, like crazy times, but yeah. Zaylen's good. I mean, maybe a little different, but driven for sure. You're always
He
You're
has the
always,
wits fucking flower.
Yeah.
You're always welcome to come by the keep when you're back home. We'd all love to see you.
Shocker, bro. Totally tubular.
He's a serpent dude.
I did not expect that at all. I was cry laughing.
Our party has a cowboy and a surfer.
Yeah, what an interesting party we made back in the day.
It's your backstory.
Now I just need to know what Kaithana sounds like. Really completed.
She's a valley girl.
I can already see
She's
the
like,
backstory that
oh my
emailed you.
God, it's
So we
so
were
good.
traveling with like
So-
this cowboy and this surfer and an astronaut and an Australian and
One of those is very different.
Just an Australian dude.
I mean,
Any
I
who's-
did make them, so.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. He said that he seemed driven.
Yeah, do you remember?
I was laughing too hard. He said that he seemed like more driven. He said he seemed a little different, but not like super unusual.
Maybe the charm just put on him as a more subtle and just to kind of.
Well, since their interests already sort of aligned, she's probably not controlling
Yeah.
him too much. Just like sort of
And
nudging
he was
him.
already a dick, wasn't he?
That's
Oh, yeah.
true.
So like that much wouldn't have changed. But if he's more driven,
So about these charms, by the way,
Yeah.
So eventually, with these charms, people do fall under the control of my sisters or my siblings in general with these charms. However, it is quite the timely process. No one really changes instantaneously, though it is possible. But you don't feel it when you're around me, because my powers have waned. But just being around my siblings, and especially being exposed to their essence for this prolonged period of time, that is how this plague affects you.
As in, like, you have to be around your sister, for example, to be charmed by her? Or if we were to be around you
in
for,
a
like,
way.
a long time, we would become, like, more greedy or something?
Exactly, yes. Exactly that.
Oh, that's how-
It affects people of differently, depending already on your aptitude. If you were already if, for example, you were already a greedy person at the start, you would turn faster than somebody who isn't greedy whatsoever. But being around them, you can't help but experience their essence.
So because Zaylin's been spending so much time with lust and wrath,
Yes.
That's also why all the guards are so much more violent, because they be around a black hair sister.
Yes. So they may not be changed quite as of yet, but they are under the effects. So they may still have their conscious, but their characteristics have changed. They become more violent, they become more aggressive, what have you. But it will take hold of them at some point if it continues. If they go down the rabbit hole deep enough.
so it's safe to say that Zaylin and all of them are under their control because they've been traveling together for quite some time now, right?
at least 2 months.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're probably under their control, or if not, they're at least
They're being
coerced.
influenced.
Yes.
Can we break it just by separating them?
Like, if we kidnapped Zaylin and held him away from your sister, would it wear off?
I wouldn't know.
Are
Why don't you
your
know
siblings
I've never been around people who weren't around me long.
are your siblings affected by each other's things?
No, we aren't affected by each other.
Will you be affected by them now that you're, like, not one of them?
I actually don't know. I would assume no.
So, like, when people are around number 4,
Yes.
what is this? Envy?
Envy.
Oh, okay.
But
And Phaedra, is that how
the
he
thing
knows
is,
that?
once they are down this rabbit hole deep enough, they normally change into those creatures that you know so very well. As that is the ultimate goal of our influence over.
I thought they
humans.
changed
But I thought it
instantly.
was instant. Yeah,
Not
on the top
always.
end it was instant.
Not
when we
always. It would be instant in the fact that they change, but it takes time to get to that stage.
What motivates your sisters? What kind of thing would refocus their efforts elsewhere?
Edryd.
They have to have
I mean
multiple
something
things about
bigger.
this, because this
Well,
wouldn't
Veruna
be,
even said so.
This wouldn't be a very good plan if the only thing that we're here for is one goal. But clearly they're here for more things. They're here for Edryd. They might be here for Nimue, and they might be here for me.
They
Ultimate-
might even be here for Unix.
Yes, ultimately though, their goal is to serve Mother, which is probably why they have been luring in people, and people have not been escaping, because they're being trapped and basically being kept under their essence in hopes that they would be turned.
So we have to get my family out of there soon if they've been here for 2 months.
We have to get them out of the city.
Hey, Savan, I have a quick question.
Of course.
Your sister, the angry one,
Mm-hmm.
has she ever spent lots of time inside the desert? Or in a vault underground?
Not that she's ever told me, though I wouldn't doubt it whatsoever. We are Mother's errand runners. Though I wouldn't, I wouldn't be too concerned about your family turning. If your family weren't really,
They're
didn't
not
really
very
have
wrathful or lustful.
exactly, if they weren't really prone to those characteristics, they probably won't fall so very easily, no matter how long they've been with them. It very much really only affects those who already have a tendency, because it's a lot less effort to change someone who's already willing to go down the path.
Has your sister happened to change a lot of hobgoblins before?
I would not doubt it whatsoever. But we were mostly in charge of changing humans. So if they
Why
affected,
specifically humans? Are they like easier to manipulate?
yes, and they're much more abundant.
People don't notice if they're missing.
That's
It's
true.
fucked
People
up.
don't notice if they're missing. Plus, there's a lot more of them. Numbers are, there are strength in numbers. So if you have millions of followers, then it's a lot stronger than a couple 100,000 of one race or another.
Well, that and their minds are just oh so corruptible.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, what the?
Who said that?
That's not good.
Who said that?
Oh, sorry, back here.
Was it Aiden?
Who the fuck are you?
You turn and back behind the group of men who are all stood watching you, they kind of part. And you see a feminine form sitting on one of the chairs back there that you hadn't noticed before.
Do
I
all of
hate
us
when I
see?
don't notice things.
Leaned back, all of you see this with legs up, kicked up on the table. This long-legged, just beautiful, slender, elegant form.
You suck.
With just light red hair that is buzzed on one side and parted down to her shoulders on the other. Leaned back, looking at all of you, and goes, "Sorry to interrupt. Please do go on. Continue telling them all about us. I am quite intrigued to learn more of it, what you think of us."
My boots are clicked together.
Everyone get her, she's an enemy!
Well, seems we have turn of events here, gentlemen.
Damn it,
She
I've
looks
cast so
just
many
offended.
spells today.
Looks like we have one of my sisters here. That means the other one can't be too far.
I step in front of Edryd.
Everyone plug your ears!
So, I guess it's time to get ready now.
Ready for what? What is it, pray tell, that we're getting ready for?
Oh, nothing that you're concerned about, don't worry. It doesn't really affect you, or at least as if I cared if it affected you or not so.
Well, I take offense at that, brother. Now, where exactly are we? Please, I'm quite confused. I've been looking for this motley band for some days now. Weeks? I don't know, time's gone willy-nilly on me. I'm just not quite sure where. Would you mind showing me, telling me where we are?
Does she look somewhat see-through?
Yeah, can I go up and pass a hand through her?
Do you step up to her?
Ooh, no.
I'm gonna like
Throw something at her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
there like a rock or something on the floor I can just like toss at
You're
her?
in like a very sparsely anything room
We
in the
got-
basement.
I have a rock in my bag.
I have a Behir scale.
I don't really feel like telling you where we are.
Well, that just makes the game more fun on my end, but
I'm gonna.
I mean, honestly, it is getting old.
I'm gonna
Yes, but you know
I
me.
don't have
I
a rock.
love games.
I used
And
all
you
my
know me,
rocks.
so do I.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take
I
a
hate
mushroom and
you.
throw it at her.
I forgot how fun you could be. You pull a mushroom out and throw it, and it passes through her. Ah, well, you've discovered my secret. Yes, I'm not actually here, but I would like to be, so please, tell me where you are and we can meet face to face. I'd love to get to know my brother's new playthings.
Why don't you let my family go? Get out of my city.
Well, you're more than welcome to come up to your home. They'd love to see you, as would your previous acquaintances.
I'm just gonna.
I'm
start
sure we could arrange for some meetings.
directing like the common folk to like plug their ears just in case she can cast magic from there or something.
Okay. All of
There's-
them just look at you kind of confused, and
They might she might charm you from here. Plug your ears.
some of them put their fingers in their ears, others don't, and she just goes, yeah, that's not really how that works. But I applaud the effort.
Thanks.
So, now where is the... She looks past you, Nimue, to Adrian and goes, you. And she stands up out of the chair and, like, just slowly saunters over, hips swaying
When she
to him
comes
All
like,
right.
and
close,
starts circling
I'm
him.
going to cast Dispel Magic at 4th level.
At 4th level?
Yeah.
You feel the energy build in your hand and expand out. I need you to roll.
Oh, damn. Please don't roll like shit. Okay. Plus my wisdom, right? 19. It's plus my wisdom modifier.
Yeah, it's your spellcasting modifier.
Yeah, so plus 5. So 19 total.
So 19 as she steps up to Edryd and goes to like step around him and puts a hand up to his cheek. The image fades. He turns to you and says, I'm assuming that is one of the ones that is trying to... Right.
Yes.
Yeah, she's looking for you.
So we have less time now than we've realized.
So how did they even know to... How did she do that? How did they find us here?
it
even
must
though
be
they
be-
didn't...
7. They can...
We are connected to each other in ways that don't really make any sense.
We need to hide you.
Yes.
You can't look like yourself. Can you disguise yourself?
No.
Here
I
you
don't-
go. I was just giving this today, but you can have it. Here's a hat. You can disguise yourself.
I appreciate the thought, but I won't hide myself away. If you're in the thick of this, I won't just stand aside.
Well, we have to figure
This
out
is my city.
Well, you can at least, if you can at least disguise yourself while you fight alongside us, so they don't target mainly just you.
If she could find us like that, do you really think that this item will hide what I
Who
am?
knows?
No,
have
I
to
think
I
at
have
this-
figure
very
out
little
a
faith
plan.
in it.
Yes. We have to figure out a plan. First, I mean, we're not going to do anything really tonight. We definitely need some rest.
I've
But-
spent everything.
Our plan now no longer involves the element of surprise, as they know a lot more than
We had hoped.
Basically we had hoped they had known. So
How
now,
long was she watching?
probably not too long.
Anyone in the back see her?
Well, the guys start
The one
mumbling
who
and then
was
just
next to
shake
her?
their heads.
Ah,
Everyone was like turned facing all of you.
Well,
She
if
might have been
did-
there for a while, but she probably wasn't there for super long.
Even if we had no concrete plans anyway. She wouldn't have
Yes.
heard of anything of use.
But yes, basically, surprise is no longer on our side. It is now time to either take a stand or to go in and cause distractions or some sort and eventually escape.
oh, for me, I think best plan was to somehow find our way into the keep. We make sure that hostages are secure, and we also try to attempt to break the charm on Zaylan and take it from there.
Yes, I think if surprise is no longer on our side, our main priority is recruiting allies.
I honestly think that if Zaylan is being charmed and we break it, he won't appreciate knowing that he was charmed, and we might be able to convince him to fight alongside us.
Then let's bank on that. Right now we don't really have a lot of cards to play,
And at
so
least
we might as well go
going
big.
into the keep, make sure that we can get hostages safe ourselves. Yeah. So, we have to start off with getting into the keep.
And getting to Zaylan. Tomorrow I can scry on him and tell where he is.
All right, that is the plan. We will make our moves tomorrow morning early, and we need to move.
We shouldn't rest here. They could come by at any
They don't
time.
know this location as of yet, but in the morning we do need a new
Google.
location.
Yeah.
She-
Anyone know?
She didn't know of this location. She was trying to figure it out when she was here. So
Did she seem? Never mind.
It didn't seem like she knew where she was.
no, she really didn't. So we at least have the safety of tonight, but I can't guarantee that by tomorrow. So we're gonna need at least a location or two that we can escape
I
to.
think
and
that we can trust. Well, I don't know for sure, but people who I would trust if they're not being mind controlled would include the tavern keep of the Lovers' Quarrel or the blacksmithies.
all right, we
They
will
were
try
very close
that.
with my family.
Until then, we will sleep tonight, get some rest, keep watch, take turns, and make our move tomorrow. We need our spells, basically. We are going to
Probably
have to be
useless.
prepared for possibly anything tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
Your sisters fucking suck, bro.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they fucking do.
All right. We'll
All
rest. We'll
right.
set up watches here, I guess.
Yes, I guess. I will take first watch.
I'll take second.
I'll take one so long as I can regain my exhaustion point.
I'll take first with 7.
I'd imagine that you guys would be able to have a little bit longer of a rest here.
Yeah. Plus, there's more people to.
Yeah,
take,
we've also got like Lorenzo and Edryd and
to
Tessa
take
to help
watches,
take
so we
watches.
don't need to split it off in two
Mm-hmm.
two watches. They could do like 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So who is taking watch with who?
I'll take watch with 7.
Yeah, we'll take first.
Okay. So, uneasily, the group in this basement of this tavern begin to find places. A lot of the kind of thug-like men who are down here begin to filter out, as they don't really have much of a, like, recognizable. They're not you guys. Some of them stay to help, but some of them filter upstairs to drink or stuff of that nature. But the rest that are here begin to uneasily find their own space, their own corners in this basement, and lay out mats and begin to try their best to get some rest for the evening. Taelented Seven, is there anything you'd like to do for your watch?
7, I have a question for you.
What is it?
Is it possible that you can build a essence that changes people's minds in areas? Or does it have to be next to your actual siblings themselves?
It has to be next to us.
Okay.
I mean, it can reach far corners, but it won't really affect you too noticeably unless you're very close. And it won't really change you unless you're really close for a long time.
Okay. I just wanting to make sure, but I am also now very concerned about your angry sister.
Yes, as am I. I'm quite concerned as to what they will do. But
No, as in, I'm concerned that I will be easily influenced by the charm that she
Oh.
has.
I don't think so. No. We prey on those, or they, as I don't do it now. But as I said, they preyed on those who are weak, who are already wanting to go down that path because it requires no effort. If they're already so willing, they change much quicker. And that means that they have to be around a lot less, and they can move around more. It is not really worth the time and effort to stick around hoping good people will change for the worse.
Can you give secret?
Sure.
Okay, so reason why I'm so concerned, cause back on my tribe, our village was just south of your forest, south of forest where you all reside, but we have great ancient vault there, and for many years my tribe passed down superstition that any hobgoblin who goes inside that vault comes out angry and mad and crazy. And that is something that happened to my teacher. She was trapped in the vault for many years but came back out with her skin blackened and such an angry and weird self to her that no one seen before.
Where was this vault located?
So the vault is located near the mountain. The Riverna rise. Near the base of mountain, we had entrance to go to vault. If our leader needed something from there, but
Wait, is that in the forest?
It's on the outskirts of the forest, like the southwestern outskirts of the forest, essentially, but more mountainous than forest.
and no one else in my tribe has blackened skin like that. I thought it was just because she worshipped evil god, hobgoblin god. But I'm starting to figure out that there are more connections here than I previously thought. And so now I just concerned because have I shown you already see, that blackened part of my skin?
Yes.
Yeah. I just concerned that something like that might happen to me if I encountered her.
Well, to be honest, Tail, with the location of that vault, the powers of my mother might have influenced that vault to some degree. To be honest with you, though I don't know exactly how it would have affected your teacher. I've never known for the subjects that we've turned to have their skin blackened as such. They do change, as you saw that one time back,
Yeah.
but not
Remember.
necessarily in the way that you have described that happened with your teacher. So, to say that my mother or my siblings' powers were the cause of it, I wouldn't put it past it if it did have some influence. However, I don't think anything really wrong will happen to you, unless you happen to travel with my sisters for a long time, or you happen to give in to their temptation. But while they are powerful, they have their limitations.
Okay.
So I don't think you have anything to worry about, so long as you remember who you are and what you want.
I know, and I trying so hard, but it still was a part of me or who I was before. And I hope we keep that same deal. If I go crazy, you still okay to shoot me? Just making sure.
I remember the deal, yes.
Okay. So, just wanted to ask. Thank you.
Of course. Though I pray it does not have to come to that situation.
Me too. It does not feel good to be shot. Especially by friend. It hurts my heart.
You're right. Good thing when I shot you the first time, we weren't quite friends yet.
Oh yeah. Still remember the pain though. Okay, anyway, let's go keep watch.
Okay, yes, we'll keep watch.
So your watch passes. Nothing particularly interesting happens during it. Who is taking the second watch?
I'll take second.
Okay. Just Nimue, Nix, are you taking second watch? Or
I'll take a watch.
do you want to take it with Nimue, or are you
Either
taking
way,
a different
that's-
one?
Sure, I'll take it with Nimue.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you guys would like to discuss? Do anything for this watch, or just let it pass?
I'm kind of in my own head right now, so probably just let it pass. Both kind of deep in thoughts.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll keep watch.
Fair. Of course, Russell walks away.
Yep. Oh god. Oh, he went to bed.
Oh no. What sibling's gonna visit him
Russell,
in his dreams
backstory
tonight?
stuff. Where did
Stop
he go?
drinking so much water.
Maybe Nix and Nimue should be more interesting
Should
and
we just
talk
start next
like they usually
episode
do.
with that, or
No, because we have to end with
cliffhanger?
Yeah,
Right. I forgot.
something has to
All
happen
right.
during this dream.
All right. Hey, Nix.
Sorry, everyone.
Do you think that Phaedra might be a spy? Do you think it's possible? Or do you think she's really turned?
I mean, I don't know her. I don't know.
Well, she was raised by Ayla. I don't know, it
but
just
I
got me
don't
thinking.
think it really means much against their influence. I mean, I'd like to think that to be the case, but
Don't want to hope too high.
I mean, I have no way of asking her. I've never spoken to her. You know? Did you see her that day?
Did I see her that day? I don't remember.
I don't think so. It was all really fast. You were, running through a forest,
I thought
essentially.
the only people that got close enough was me and Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
What if... I mean, if I showed you what she looked like, could you cast a message to her? I mean, maybe not right now. I don't know what...
I don't have the spell slot for it right now anyway, but
Okay.
I could eventually. Well, I could try if you give a good enough description.
Okay.
There's a
I
possibility.
mean, I could show you. I saw her.
If you have something of hers as
I
well.
could disguise myself.
Yeah.
I do. I have her blood.
Not if you have that. Probably make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
You could probably scry on her too. Especially if you have her blood.
If we could scry on them.
If you have her blood, there's a very good chance it'll work.
I mean, we could do that whenever.
Yeah. Not tomorrow. I'm just saving that spell slot for something else for tomorrow. But whenever. Yeah. All right.
So your watch passes by without an issue. 7.
Oh God, not again.
A familiar pattern takes you as sleep finds your mind, and your dreams swirl and expand out to a familiar forest around you. And you audibly sigh and just stand there for a second and you see nothing. What do you do?
I'm completely surrounded by the forest, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you going to show yourself?
Nothing.
Interesting. Well, this is a first. Usually there's someone here with me. I guess I'll walk. I walk forward.
You start walking through the trees, and there's bits that are overgrown and fallen logs, so you have to stumble over a little bit. And you walk like this for a while and see nothing.
Well, these parts of the forest look familiar.
Yeah,
How familiar?
pretty familiar.
Okay. Then I start taking it to where I know it leads me.
You start walking in that direction, and there's a break of a branch back to your right.
I look over. Who is it?
You turn and, expecting to see the normal form of your brother, are shocked when you see a shorter form, with blonde hair, gnomish features, and a birthmark above her right eye. She looks at you up and down and steps forward. Says, "So, I finally get to see your face then."
Well, this is new. I was not expecting you.
Yes, you're not quite what I expected either. She walks over and leans against a tree.
Well, what are you doing here? What do you wish to know?
Well, I had to see you for myself, but I have to know why you left. They won't tell me much, but I can only imagine seeing you in this form that you did something. So I have to know why it is you left your family.
Well, I'm assuming that now that you can contact me here,
It has always been me.
then you should know why I left. You should feel it too, to your very core. You know exactly why I left, because it's in you too.
See her ponder for a moment. And step off the tree towards you. She says, "So what is it that you desired the most then?"
Me?
Yes.
Oh, everything. Mother's grand dream. I don't see why she gets to keep it all to herself. Even if I don't necessarily get it, why should she? If I can't have it, why should anyone?
She begins walking around you as you're explaining this. Just kind of eyeballing you.
What is it that you desire?
Not the same as you. And maybe that is why we are different.
That is quite interesting. For you to not desire. Maybe I was just a better version.
Well, seems we both wanted things that we can't have.
I always end up getting everything that I want. And I always knew it.
It does not seem that way.
They threw obstacles in my way. Clearly it has not stopped me. And clearly they still see me as a threat.
Threat. We shall see. This has been quite informative. It was good to meet you.
Yes, it has been quite informative. It was good to meet you as well, though. I'm sure we'll see each other soon.
Maybe. Enjoy your dreams.
You as well.
She steps backwards and the dream melts. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Why don't you ask, like, hey, is there anything that you want me to tell your mother? She misses you.
She's looking
She
for
loves you.
you.
She's looking for you.
She's been looking for you for like 50 years. Like,
Oh, you thought I was going to
I'm
talk
just
about
kidding.
you?
Yeah.
no, it's all about
It's fine.
7,
It's
baby.
all about me. This is my story.
Well, thanks to those of you who are still here joining us. If you've watched before, you may have noticed that there was some new music, so I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Ian at Tabletop RPG Music. I will be putting some links to their Patreon and some websites when we post this VOD to YouTube and the podcast. So if you liked some of the songs you haven't heard before, please go check them out. They do some amazing work. If you need new music for your tabletop games, there's a lot of like ambiences and shit like that. So please go check that out. I really enjoyed the stuff that I got to use today. It helped me kind of set a whole different mood, and I liked it. So thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, we hope you have an amazing week. We love you all, and hopefully, these episodes are a good start to your work week. I know Monday is a weird thing to use this as a respite, but hopefully we can be a little bit of a, good start to that work. But we love you all, and we will see you next Monday.
Heck yeah.
Bye-bye.